Chapter 1341. The more Ning Cheng thought about it, the clearer it became. Chu Wujian's two red lights carried the aura of the good fortune azure lotus. If those two red lights were formed by the good fortune azure lotus's petals, then everything would become clear. Chu Wujian's spirit technique should contain the yin-yang Dao charm. Unfortunately, Chu Wujian's weapon didn't match his spirit technique. However, if Chu Wujian didn't have a good fortune treasure, how could he conceal the aura of the good fortune green lotus? Xing Shi didn't take back the green lotus petal. Fellow Daoist Ning, follow me. We only need a few days to reach the ruins of the abode. After Chu Wujian finished speaking, he spread out his body and moved across the black water like a broad road. Ning Cheng followed behind Chu Wujian and asked casually, Dao friend Chu, how long have you been in this blackwater world? Chu Wujian did not mind and casually replied, it has been several tens of thousands of years. I've been searching for the Nirvana Dao dragon scale sand here. He had thought that Chu Wujian would stay here for at most a few decades. Hearing Chu Wujian say that he had been here for tens of thousands of years, Ning Cheng even forgot the purpose of his question and subconsciously spoke up, during these tens of thousands of years, Dao friend Chu should have already collected a lot of Nirvana Dao dragon scale sand, right? You still care about a dozen pieces of Nirvana Dao dragon scale sand? Chu Wujian was slightly startled. He immediately felt that there was something wrong with his words. He chuckled and casually said, you found a Nirvana Dao dragon scale sand just now because of luck. Do you think it's that easy to find Nirvana Dao dragon scale sand? Sometimes, you might not even find one in hundreds of years. Ning Cheng felt that Chu Wujian's words were a bit false, but he didn't point it out. Instead, he spoke with a slightly admiring tone, I heard that it's not easy to stay in the Blackwater world for even a few years. Yet, Dao friend Chu managed to stay here for tens of thousands of years and still remain safe and sound. Hearing Ning Cheng's words, Chu Wujian had to speak up, for tens of thousands of years, apart from healing, I've been in seclusion. He rarely comes out to search for the Nirvana Dao dragon scale sand, so he didn't obtain much and didn't encounter much danger. Really? Ning Cheng showed a smile, by the way, Dao friend Chu, if we stay at the bottom of the black water world, can we isolate all auras? It can even isolate the aura of powerful treasures. Chu Wujian felt slightly shocked when he heard Ning Cheng's words. He stopped and stared at Ning Cheng before saying, what do you want to say? I don't want to say anything. I just thought of something. If I'm not wrong, you've long since refined the secret realm of the abode. Speak, what did you want to do by deceiving me? After Ning Cheng finished, he opened his hand, and the good fortune divine spear once again fell into his hand. He felt that something was wrong, and when he thought about how Chu Wujian had refined the good fortune green lotus and turned it into two red lights, he finally knew what was wrong. Chu Wujian had a way to hide the good fortune green lotus from Xing Shi. With this kind of ability, how could he not be able to open a cave in the black water world after tens of thousands of years? Furthermore, how could someone who had stayed in the black water for tens of thousands of years care about a dozen pieces of Nirvana Dao dragon scale sand? Most importantly, Ning Cheng had stayed at the bottom of the black water for a few days, as such he knew that this place was definitely not a place for cultivation. Wanting to go into seclusion to comprehend the realm was a joke in this place. As for healing, this was also not the place to do so. When Chu Wujian heard Ning Cheng's words, two more red lights wrapped around his hands, and his killing intent suddenly filled the air. Ning Cheng's tone turned cold, if you want to fight, then I'll accompany you. But since I could blast open the black water with a finger, then I can also blast open the black water with a finger. Of course, blasting open the black water doesn't mean anything. But if you do it too many times, do you think that woman would know about your weapon? Which woman? Chu Wujian asked subconsciously. Ning Cheng didn't know if Chu Wujian really didn't know about Xing Shi or if he was pretending not to know. Therefore, he simply said, that woman is called Xing Shi, and her weapon is called the Good Fortune Green Lotus. I couldn't even last a round in her hands. Chu Wujian, do you think that woman would let you go if she knew where you were hiding? Even I can feel that your two red lights can't merge with your spirit technique. How could you deceive that woman's eyes? Chu Wujian had already prepared for the worst in his heart. But he didn't expect Ning Cheng to point it out. At this moment, he only felt regret. If he could do it all over again, he would rather wait for another 10,000 years than fight Ning Cheng. He really wanted to kill Ning Cheng, but he also knew that it would be difficult to kill Ning Cheng. Speak, what do you want? Chu Wujian finally decided to ask about Ning Cheng's asking price. Ning Cheng spoke up with a calm voice, if I didn't guess wrong, the ancient immortal cave you found should be real. Ning Cheng felt sure that he had not guessed wrong. If it were fake, Chu Wujian wouldn't have dared to bring him to this place. Chu Wujian nodded, yes, that immortal cave is indeed real. I've been cultivating in that immortal cave. Now that Ning Cheng saw through his plan, he naturally wouldn't take Ning Cheng to his immortal cave. I have two requests. First, give me half of the things in that immortal cave. Second, you have to tell me why you plotted against me. We don't have any contact with each other. Third, you have to meet me in the future. As for when, I'm not sure. Ning Cheng finished his request and quietly waited for Chu Wujian's answer. Why do you have to meet me in the future? Chu Wujian frowned slightly and didn't care about Ning Cheng's first and second questions. Ning Cheng didn't know if Chu Wujian knew about the Good Fortune War or not, so he asked ambiguously, what do you think? Chu Wujian's tone turned cold, you want to participate in the Good Fortune War. This fellow really knew about the Good Fortune War. No wonder he had such a way to hide the Good Fortune Azure Lotus. Hiding at the bottom of the Black Water world, as long as Xingshi didn't come here, it would be difficult to find him. Whether I can participate in the Good Fortune War or not, you don't need to worry about it. If you don't agree, then don't blame me for letting that woman named Xingshi come. Ning Cheng didn't brag. He indeed had the confidence to call Xingshi. As long as he and Chu Wujian fought and exposed Chu Wujian's Azure Lotus aura, Xingshi would definitely come. Of course, this was just a means to threaten Chu Wujian. If Xingshi came, he wouldn't be able to get away with it. I obtained 18 Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand and a Dragon Clan Dao formula in that immortal cave. As for why I plotted against you, it's because I cultivate a doppelganger spirit technique, which requires a powerful avatar. When I saw you, I knew that you were suitable to be my avatar. Third, since you know what I have, you also know that I won't leave the Black Water world. If you want to see me in the future, you can come to the Black Water world to find me. If you can't find me, then don't blame me. Chu Wujian spoke with some grievances. Before his strength reached a certain level, he would never take out the Good Fortune Azure Lotus's lotus petal. It would be best if he could kill that woman in the future instead of giving away the Good Fortune Azure Lotus's lotus petal. Ning Cheng knew that this fellow definitely had more than 18 Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand. But since Chu Wujian said 18, it seemed that he only wanted to give him 9. If he asked for more, this fellow wouldn't agree. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng spoke up, give me 9 Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand and that Dragon Clan Dao formula. Sure, here you go. After Chu Wujian finished speaking, he raised his hand and was about to throw out a ring. But just as he was about to throw out the ring, the 2 red Dao charm radiating from his wrist suddenly weakened, as if he had put them away. Ning Cheng suddenly put away the Good Fortune Spirit Spear and opened his hand. A long black arrow suspended in the air. Under this black arrow, a 5-colored bow could be vaguely seen. A violent killing intent instantly filled this part of the Black Water Sea and turned into one terrifying killing intent after another that locked onto Chu Wujian. 5-colored star splitter arrow. Chu Wujian sucked in a breath of cold air and froze. In just a moment, 2 red Dao charm radiances appeared just a few feet away from Ning Cheng. It was the 2 red lights that had disappeared from Chu Wujian's wrist. Ning Qing secretly felt that this fellow hadn't used his full strength just now. This was this fellow's trump card. If he hadn't taken out the 5-colored star splitter arrow early, maybe he wouldn't have discovered it until the 2 red lights locked onto him. I knew that you wouldn't keep your promise, but I didn't misread you. For someone like you to obtain the lotus petals of the good fortune azure lotus, you must have had the luck to eat shit. After Ning Qing finished this sentence, the good fortune spirit spear suddenly rolled up thousands of spear patterns. These spear patterns didn't attack Chu Wujian at all. Instead, they formed a huge vortex outside the two's domains. The vortex grew bigger and bigger, and the Dao charm of the spear patterns swept away the surrounding black water, forming a space. Stop, I agree. As these words fell, Chu Wujian threw a ring to Ning Qing without hesitation. He understood Ning Qing's intentions very well. That is, to sweep away the black water and let the aura of the good fortune azure lotus seep out to attract that woman named Xing Shi. This person was too insidious. Unfortunately, he couldn't expose the good fortune azure lotus's lotus petals yet. Ning Qing's spiritual consciousness swept through the ring and swept inside. Sure enough, apart from the 7 Nirvana Dao dragon scale sands, there was also an ancient scroll. Ning Qing didn't continue to stir the black water and slowly put away the good fortune spirit spear. Then, he watched Chu Wujian put away the 2 red lights and disappeared in an instant. After just a few breaths, Ning Qing could no longer catch any trace of Chu Wujian's aura. Only then did he put away the 5-colored star splitter arrow. The bottom of this black water was really strange. Maybe Chu Wujian wasn't the only one hiding here. 9 Nirvana Dao dragon scale sands were more than enough for Ning Qing. Ning Qing was just about to rush out of the black water to wait for Xiao Xinqi and Ao Ken when he suddenly received a message from Ao Ken asking for help. Ning Qing didn't even think about it. Instead, he turned into a stream of water and disappeared. Ning Qing had just left when Chu Wujian's figure reappeared a few hundred meters away from Ning Qing. He stared in the direction where Ning Qing disappeared and spoke to himself coldly, "No one can take advantage of me, Chu Wujian. I will find you to settle accounts." After saying this, his figure slowly turned into black water and disappeared. Chapter 1342. Ning Qing hadn't even reached the place where Ao Ken was when he felt an oppressive pressure on his mind. Ning Qing then saw Ao Ken and thought that Ao Ken was besieged. Ao Ken stood under a huge dragon skeleton. Just like him, he couldn't even straighten his back due to the oppressive aura. Even the Dao charm aura on his body gradually dissipated. There wasn't a single drop of black water within a radius of dozens of miles around the dragon skeleton. From this, it could be seen that the black water here was also blocked by the dragon skeleton's pressure. Not even a drop could seep in. Ning Qing felt extremely shocked. Ao Ken was an expert close to the peak of Dao integration. Such a powerhouse was actually unable to withstand the pressure of a set of dragon bones. This was simply too unbelievable. Although Xing Shi was strong, she couldn't compare to this kind of power, right? From this, one could imagine how powerful the owner of this dragon skeleton was before he fell. Ning Qing's Dao charm spread out, and his domain instantly strengthened. He wanted to go over and take Ao Ken away. Seeing Ning Qing trying to pull him away, Ao Ken quickly said, "Big brother, I can't go. This place has the powerful Dao charm perception I need. I have a hunch that I can reach Nirvana here. It's just that my absorption ability is too poor. I can't support it. I want to ask Big Brother to give me a few medicinal pills." Ning Qing didn't hesitate to grab 2 bottles of medicinal pills and throw them over. "These are 2 bottles of Dao restoration pills. You can use them first and tell me what other medicinal pills you need. I'll help you refine them." Although the dragon skeleton's pressure could easily suppress Ao Ken and put a lot of pressure on Ning Qing, it couldn't suppress Ning Qing to the point where he couldn't move like Ao Ken. Ao Ken wanted to say 1 or 2 more words, but the powerful pressure made him unable to continue. Ning Qing suddenly thought of the Dragon Clan's cultivation method on him and immediately took it out and threw it to Ao Kan. I just obtained the Dragon Clan's cultivation method. Sweep it with your spiritual consciousness and see if it's better than the cultivation method you're cultivating now. The cultivation method Ning Qing threw fell beside Ao Kan, and Ao Kan's spiritual consciousness swept in. In just half a day, Ning Qing felt something wrong. Ao Kan's aura seemed to have suddenly increased, and the pressure on Ao Kan seemed to have weakened. The ripples of Taoist rhymes around Ao Kan became stronger and stronger. Ning Qing, of course, knew that it was not the dragon bone's pressure weakening, but rather Ao Kan's ability to resist the pressure increasing. Indeed, a few hours later, Ao Kan raised his hand and picked up the cultivation technique on the ground. He said in surprise, "Big brother, this cultivation technique is extremely beneficial to me. It's a pity that I don't have the Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand. Otherwise, I would definitely be able to improve." Even if Ao Kan hadn't mentioned it, Ning Qing had already planned to give the Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand to Ao Kan. As soon as Ao Kan finished speaking, he saw a dragon scale-shaped sandstone the size of a longan drop into his palm. Nirvana Dragon Scale Sand? Ao Kan asked in surprise. He immediately knew that it was the Nirvana Dragon Scale Sand. At this time, he only felt a deep gratitude towards Ning Qing in his heart. He had already been here for more than 10 days. In here, not to mention the Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand, it would be difficult for him to even stay alive. From this, one could see how precious the Nirvana Dragon Scale Sand was. With his strength, even if he found the Black Water World, he wouldn't be able to obtain the Nirvana Dragon Scale Sand. Now that Ning Qing took out the most suitable Dragon Clan cultivation method for him, along with a Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand, it was like sending charcoal in snowy weather to him. Ning Qing smiled and said, "You can try to break through. I will protect you. It's just that there are almost no laws here. I don't know if you can succeed. Big brother, this place is better than any place with complete laws for me. This is the remains of the ancestral dragon of my five-clawed spirit dragon clan. I can feel a kind of inheritance power here. The remains of the ancestral dragon represent the laws of my dragon clan. Unfortunately, my cultivation method was too weak before and couldn't absorb this inheritance. But with the Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand and the cultivation method from Big Brother, I can definitely succeed." After Ao Kan finished this sentence, he fell silent. He had completely restrained his mind at this time. Even after cultivating for so many years, he had never encountered such a powerful opportunity. While Ao Kan cultivated, Ning Qing stood by his side to protect him. Although his spiritual consciousness could stretch out over 100 miles in the black water, Ning Qing knew that the Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand in this place was truly difficult to find. What's more, he still had 9 Nirvana Tao Dragon Scale Sand on him. As half a year passed by, Ning Qing felt the Tao charm aura around Ao Kan start to change. The endless law power of the ancestral dragon's remains began to gather and then rush towards Ao Kan. The Tao charm aura around Ao Kan's body continued to rise. The black water, which had been blocked by the dragon bones, retreated even further, and a black vortex of Tao charm hovered over the dragon bones. A powerful dragon roar rang out, and Ao Kan turned into a huge black dragon. Ning Qing noticed that the black dragon that Ao Kan had turned into had only 4 claws. Although Ning Qing's spiritual consciousness didn't observe Ao Kan, he could feel Ao Kan's Tao charm gradually merging with the surrounding laws, forming the embryonic form of a world. Seeing that Ao Kan had stepped into the 3rd step of the world creation realm, Ning Qing felt delighted. Once Ao Kan stepped into the world creation realm, it would not only help him a lot, but it would also give him the confidence to return to the 5-clawed spirit dragon clan for revenge. What's more, Ning Qing could feel that Ao Kan's world creation realm was not as simple as a pseudo-world. Looking at the rising Dao charm aura around Ao Kan and the increasingly solid law space, Ning Qing vaguely guessed that Ao Kan's world creation realm should have something to do with the ancestral dragon's inheritance. Since the ancestral dragon's skeleton was so terrifying, its original strength must have been unparalleled. Therefore, the ancestral dragon's inheritance must have been powerful as well. The coercion continued to rise, but at this time, it had already started to merge with Ao Kan's Dao charm. Gotcha! A crisp cracking sound rang out, and the dragon roar grew even louder. Ning Qing felt shocked. This gotcha sound clearly came from Ao Kan's realm domain shattering. Did Ao Kan's realm creation fail? But the next moment, Ning Qing realized that he worried too much. The realm domain aura around Ao Kan grew even more solid and powerful. It vaguely gave off an aura that chased after Xiao Xinqi. Even if it wasn't a great Dao, it wasn't any weaker than Xiao Xinqi's. The high-pitched dragon roar directly split the black water and went straight into the void. Ao Kan's dragon body rose up, and the aura of a king seeped out. The Dao charm in the void roared, and a thunderous dragon roar spread to almost every corner. Ao Kan's realm domain grew stronger and stronger. Even Ning Qing, who was on the side, couldn't feel it at all. At this moment, everyone in the Black Water realm knew that someone had successfully reached the third step, creation realm. Moreover, this realm was extremely powerful. Apart from Ning Qing, no one wanted to come here and anger Ao Kan, a new third step expert. Boom! Ao Kan's dragon body in the void finally transformed into a human form and fell to the bottom of the black water. The huge force caused the bottom of the black water to rumble. The next moment, Ning Qing saw the huge ancestral dragon's bone disappear. Ning Qing laughed and said, Ao Kan, congratulations on stepping into the creation realm. Ao Kan's eyes filled with joy, big brother, without your help, Ao Kan wouldn't be who I am today. Did you put away the ancestral dragon's bone? Ning Qing asked. Ao Kan spoke up with even more joy, big brother, I finally understand what the creation realm is. I built my own realm. Although it's not perfect, it's much better than a storage ring or an ordinary world. I moved the ancestral dragon's bone into my realm, and I have a hunch that my realm will continue to advance again. Ning Qing immediately understood and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. No wonder he didn't get anything good after killing several creation realm experts. It turned out that they had placed all these good things in their own realms. Even if they fell, no one could take away the things in their realms. No one took away the ancestral dragon's bone. You're really lucky. Ao Kan shook his head, no, if I weren't a five-clawed dragon, I wouldn't have been able to take away the ancestral dragon's bone. Ao Kan, not bad. You actually reached the third step creation realm. It looks like you've gained a lot here. Xiao Xinqi's voice came from afar and soon fell not far from Ning Qing and Ao Kan. Ning Qing smiled, old Xiao, I guess Ao Kan's strength isn't any weaker than yours now. Xiao Xinqi didn't care, since we're all together, the stronger the better. You'll know when the time comes. For Xiao Xinqi, the stronger Ao Kan was, the better. The creation war was also a battle between factions. Once the creation war started, Ao Kan would definitely follow Ning Qing. He also didn't want Ao Kan to be too weak, which would lower the combat effectiveness of their side. King Xiao, I only achieved this with the help of Big Brother, Ao Kan quickly spoke up. Xiao Xinqi smiled, it doesn't matter who helped you, as long as you can create a realm. I was lucky. In just half a year, I found 3 pieces of Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand and found something else. Now that Ao Kan has reached the third step, do you want to stay here and look for Nirvana Dao Dragon Scale Sand, or do you want to leave? Ning Qing suddenly asked, Dao friend Xiao, if we leave this place and want to come back in the future, can we find a place? Xiao Xinqi remained silent for a while before speaking, it's difficult. Our strength is still too low. We can't find the Black Water realm with our spiritual consciousness. If we want to come back, apart from the previous method of waiting, there is another way, which is to make an imprint. But with our current strength, it would be difficult to make an imprint to return here. I have a way. Aokin suddenly said, I can find this location by sensing the remnant aura of the ancestral dragon. The ancestral dragon? Xiao Xinshi asked in surprise. Aokin nodded and said, yes, King Xiao. The reason I can reach the third step is not only because of Big Brother's help, but also because of the ancestral dragon's inheritance. Xiao Xinshi looked at Aokin in amazement and even said with some envy, no wonder you became so powerful after creating a realm. The ancestral dragon was a peak powerhouse. Even Dao Lord Fate had to call him Dao Friend. Since you have the ancestral dragon's inheritance, you can call me Old Xiao. Xiao Xinshi said with some embarrassment. Even if he wanted to be a king, he didn't dare let the ancestral dragon's disciple call him King Xiao. Chapter 1343. The Heavenly Gate realm was considered the number one realm among the numerous plane realms in the periphery of heavens beyond. After the Jiaoyang realm had been destroyed during the Creation War, there had been a rumor that the Heavenly Gate realm was the closest to the Creation Gate. Because of this rumor, more and more experts had moved to the Heavenly Gate realm. After the Creation War, the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan had also fallen and gathered in the Heavenly Gate realm. After so many years of development, the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan once again had the aura of being the number one dragon clan. The Heavenly Man Sea of the Heavenly Gate realm was the number one sea in the Heavenly Gate realm, and the Heavenly Man Sea was basically the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan's sphere of influence. Although the clan leader of the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan, O Feng, had a peak creation realm cultivation level, his strength was not inferior to ordinary integration realm experts. In the Heavenly Gate realm, he was considered a hero. Apart from Ao Feng, the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan's right guard elder, Ao Sha, was also at the third-step late-stage creation realm. Ordinary Unity realm experts weren't a match for him. It could be said that apart from clan leader Ao Feng, Ao Sha's status in the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan was the highest. What made Ao Sha regretful was that although he had countless cultivation partners and concubines, he had only given birth to a son and a daughter. As for the rest of the creation realm experts, there were no less than 10 in the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan. Although the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan currently did not have an integration realm expert, everyone knew that it was only a matter of time. With a period of accumulation, the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan would not only have an integration realm expert, but also more than one. As the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan's experts increased and became more prosperous, the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan's status in the Heavenly Gate realm also increased. Today was the day the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan's genius, Ao Mang, succeeded in his creation realm and reached the third step. This was a joyous occasion for the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan. Not only was Ao Qian the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan's number one genius Divine Dragon, but he was also the son of the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan's right guard elder, Ao Sha. Therefore, Ao Mang's third-step Dao validation had invited almost all the famous people of the Heavenly Gate realm to come and support him. The five-clawed Divine Dragon clan palace was built in the center of the Heavenly Man Sea. At this moment, the entire Dragon Clan palace was filled with the sounds of congratulations and toasts. More powerhouses had come here not only to attend the banquet for Ao Mang of the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan's third-step Dao validation, but also to use this opportunity to make friends with various mighty figures. After the patriarch of the five-clawed Divine Dragon clan, Ao Feng, finished drinking with the guests, he retreated to the main seat. As he chatted with a few big shots, he watched Ao Qian continue toasting the guests with a smile. Perhaps everyone thought that as the leader of the five-clawed Divine Dragon tribe, Ao Feng would naturally be the happiest today. Only Ao Feng knew in his heart that although he was happy that Ao Qian had succeeded in creating a world so quickly, he was definitely not the happiest. He was very clear about Ao Qian's aptitude, it was far inferior to his. In other words, the highest realm that Ao Qian could reach was the creation realm, and he would not be able to advance any further in the future. Ao Feng was someone who knew about the creation war. He knew in his heart that with the current strength of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe, once the second creation war came, they would most likely all be sent to die as cannon fodder. Back then, the ancestral dragon of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe could not avoid death, let alone these dragon descendants who were countless times weaker than the ancestral dragon. Don't look at how the five-clawed divine dragon tribe was glorious and enthusiastic now. If they really had to struggle, that would be when the five-clawed divine dragon tribe reached its peak. If there were no true genius divine dragons, the five-clawed divine dragon tribe would gradually degenerate into an ordinary dragon tribe. Grandson is grateful for patriarch grandfather's nurturing. Today, I succeeded in creating a world. Grandson toasts grandfather. Ao Qian, whose face was slightly red from drinking, picked up his wine cup and came in front of Ao Feng. Ao Feng laughed. Just as he was about to speak, a shrill flying sword shot in like lightning and landed in Ao Qian's hand. Ao Qian's divine sense landed on the flying sword. His hand trembled, and the wine cup also fell to the ground. His slightly red face also turned livid. What's going on? Ao Feng frowned, and his divine sense also landed on the messenger flying sword. My younger sister, Ao Chang, was just killed. Ao Qian clenched his fists, and his whole body overflowed with killing intent. What? Ao Feng jumped to his feet. Although Ao Chang was only at the Dao integration intermediate stage, she and Ao Qian were both descendants of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe's right elder, Ao Gu. Ao Gu was powerful and would not be weaker than him. Moreover, Ao Gu only had a son and a daughter. Now that his daughter had been killed, how could he let it go? Not to mention that Ao Gu was not willing to let it go, even he, Ao Feng, would absolutely not let it go. How dare you kill my younger sister, Ao Chang? I swear I'm not human if I don't swallow you. Ao Mang suddenly turned around, and his killing intent spread out. Ao Feng immediately shouted, Ao Qian, don't be impulsive. Wait for your father to come, and we'll go together. After experiencing countless escapes and the sharp decline of his tribe, Ao Feng's temperament had already become extremely cautious. Ao Qian's eyes were bloodshot. He was just about to speak when he heard several loud booms. The five-clawed divine dragon tribe's luxurious palace's defense array was directly blasted open, and the two disciples guarding it were also blasted in. There's no need to look for them. I'm already in. As the voice fell, a man with a well-defined face walked in. After this man, there were two more people. One carried a cyan-long spear on his back, and the other was only a little more than a meter tall. He turned out to be a dwarf. Ao Kan, it's you. Ao Qian saw this man and immediately shouted, Did you kill my sister, Ao Chang? The three people who came in were Ao Kan, Ning Cheng, and Xiao Xinqi. After the three left the Black Water realm, it took them nearly half a year to reach the Heavenly Gate realm. Even Ning Cheng knew for the first time that the five-clawed divine dragon tribe had moved to the Heavenly Gate realm. Now that Ao Ken was returning to the five-clawed divine dragon tribe to take revenge, he and Xiao Xinqi naturally followed. Because of the sudden intrusion of the three uninvited guests, the entire guest hall was a little chaotic. It wasn't until Ao Qian called out Ao Kan's name that the guest hall gradually quieted down. Most people guessed that this should be the five-clawed divine dragon tribe's own internal affairs. You're Ao Kan. I remember that you don't have 5 claws. How did you reach the third step? Ao Feng looked at Ao Kan in surprise. He also guessed that this was the five-clawed divine dragon tribe's internal affairs. Originally, he didn't want others to know about this. However, now that so many guests had seen it, it would only invite ridicule if he continued to deceive others. Therefore, he simply asked directly. Although he was asking, he was extremely shocked in his heart. The dragon clan might have no less than 10 third-step experts, but this was accumulated over tens of millions of years. Ao can seem to only have 4 claws. It wasn't that the descendants of the 5-clawed divine dragon tribe didn't have 4 claws, but they had too many. However, he had never heard of a 4-clawed divine dragon reaching the 3rd step until he saw Ao can reach the 3rd step today. Then he sighed in his heart. Ao can had reached the 3rd step, and so had Ao Qian. This should have been a happy event for the dragon clan, but Ao Qian had killed Ao Chang. Even if Ao Qian didn't do anything, Ao Sha would never let Ao can go. Ao can glanced at clan leader Ao Feng faintly. Whether an itinerant cultivator like me can reach the 3rd step naturally has nothing to do with you, clan leader Ao. As a direct descendant of the 5-clawed divine dragon tribe, he couldn't forget what had happened to him. He had been chased out of the 5-clawed divine dragon tribe by the clan leader just because he had used too many cultivation resources. In fact, he now knew that the reason he had been chased out was not because of cultivation resources but because of the Khanate dragon pearl. He guessed that he had been chased out because of Ao Mang's tricks. If he hadn't met Ao Fei previously, he still wouldn't have known that Ao Qian and his sister had killed his mother. Ao Fei was Ao Can's lackey. Back then, he had thought that he would definitely be able to kill him, so he had revealed the truth. Today, after he had come to the 5-clawed divine dragon tribe and seen Ao Chang, he had indeed confirmed that his mother had been killed by Ao Qian and Ao Chang. Ao Can, since you have already reached the 3rd step of Dao validation, you are the pillar of the 5-clawed divine dragon tribe. How can you kill your compatriots the moment you return? Can Ao Chang still be saved? Ao Feng still had a glimmer of hope that he could save Ao Chang, and then everyone would be happy. He knew in his heart that Ao Can had been chased away unfairly back then because of Ao Qian's tricks. However, if he had gone back to the past, he would have done the same. A genius disciple of the 5-clawed divine dragon tribe and a cripple with only 4 claws. As the clan leader, how could he not know what to choose? Furthermore, this genius's father was the 2nd strongest expert in the dragon clan. Ao Can simply ignored Ao Feng as he looked at Ao Qian coldly and said, Ao Qian, back then, you tried your best to chase me out of the 5-clawed divine dragon tribe. I, Ao Can, could still live if I wasn't a member of the 5-clawed divine dragon tribe. However, you and your sister were vicious. You actually intercepted my mother and me because of a Khanate dragon pearl. You killed my mother. I swore at my mother's grave that I would definitely avenge my mother in this lifetime. Ao Feng sighed in his heart. It seemed like he had to kill Ao Can. How could he resolve this hatred of killing his mother? Ao Qian was too ruthless. Ao Can's mother was his aunt after all. No, Ao Can mentioned the Khanate dragon pearl just now. At the thought of this, Ao Feng immediately looked at Ao Qian and asked, Ao Qian, did you really get the Khanate dragon pearl? After Ao Qian sensed Ao Can's Dao runes and strength, he knew that if his father didn't come, he probably wouldn't be able to kill Ao Can alone. Moreover, Ao Can had 2 helpers. Clan leader, I didn't get the Khanate dragon pearl. Ao Qian's words were true. He was indeed very sullen. Ao Can wasn't wrong. Ao Can's mother was killed by his sister and his sister. Unfortunately, he didn't manage to snatch the Khanate dragon pearl. Instead, it was snatched away by a bastard that he didn't even know. Who dares to kill my daughter? This lord will peel off your skin and swallow you. Following a roar, a muscular man in a grey robe rushed into the guest hall. Ao Feng sighed in his heart. Since Ao Can was here, this matter wouldn't be resolved easily. It's you, you little bastard. I will kill you. The moment Ao Can entered the hall, he saw Ao Can. He immediately roared and pounced at Ao Can. Chapter 1344. Ao Sha was an expert who could fight against a merging realm expert. Even though Ao Can had reached the 3rd step of the creation realm, Ao Sha did not take Ao Kan seriously. Before he reached Ao Kan, he threw a punch at Ao Kan. In his opinion, even if Ao Kan was at the creation realm, he would be severely injured by his punch. Why would he need to use his magic treasure to deal with a mere Ao Kan? Ao Sha did not use his magic treasure, and neither did Ao Kan. He also took a step forward, followed by a punch. Boom! After the two fists collided, a violent Dao Rhyme Law power exploded in the Dragon Clan's huge palace. The aura of Dao Rhymes directly shattered the defensive array of the palace, and the magnificent inner hall was also blasted into pieces and collapsed. The guests in the inner palace stepped aside. Those with lower cultivation would be severely injured if they were to be affected by such a powerful Dao Rhyme attack. Ao Sha was counterattacked by the huge Dao Rhyme power. He no longer had the valiant aura from before. Instead, he took a few steps back. Ao Kan also took a few steps back. However, he attacked from the back and it was a defensive attack. In comparison, Ao Kan had the upper hand. Ao Sha looked at Ao Kan in shock. He did not expect Ao Kan to be on par with him when he had just reached the creation realm. After this punch, the violent murderous intent in his heart calmed down instantly. What shocked him more was not that Ao Kan was so powerful, but that Ao Kan's Dao Rhyme power contained the most ancient chaotic energy of the five-clawed Divine Dragon Clan. That was the aura of the five-clawed Divine Dragon Clan's ancestral dragon. However, the ancestral dragon had fallen after the first creation war and not even his corpse was left. How could Ao Kan possess the ancestral dragon's Dao Rhyme aura? Not only Ao Sha, but Ao Feng also felt the Dao Rhyme aura from Ao Kan's punch. It contained the most ancient ancestral dragon Dao Rhyme aura of the five-clawed Divine Dragon Clan. He was not the one who attacked Ao Kan. He felt it more deeply than Ao Sha. Back then, he was not qualified to participate in the first creation war. However, he had felt the powerful aura of the ancestral dragon clan from afar. A thought that even Ao Feng could not believe came to his mind. Ao Kan had obtained the ancestral dragon's inheritance and entered the third step of the creation realm as a four-clawed divine dragon. If Ao Kan had obtained the ancestral dragon's inheritance, he would not be allowed to leave the five-clawed divine dragon tribe no matter what. At this moment, the destruction of the inner hall of the five-clawed mystical dragon tribe was actually the smallest matter to Ao Feng. Not to mention the palace of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe, even if Ao Sha's daughter was killed, it would still be a small matter in the face of the ancestral dragon's inheritance. Ao Kan, you are a direct descendant of the five-clawed divine dragon clan. I hope that you can return to the five-clawed divine dragon clan. As for other matters, we can discuss them slowly. Ao Feng didn't even consider Aoge's intentions and took the initiative to say this. Ao Sha's face was calm and he did not refute Ao Feng's words. He knew very well what Ao Feng meant. At this moment, he also suspected that Ao Kan had inherited the ancestral dragon's legacy. He killed my younger sister, Ao Chang. I, Ao Qian, must kill this person. When Ao Qian saw that the patriarch actually had the intention of exonerating Ao Kan, he stretched out his hand and a white spear appeared in his hand. The long spear was surrounded by Taoist rhymes and filled with killing intent. It was obvious that this was a top-grade Dharma treasure. Ao Sha still did not speak. He also raised his hand and a pitch-black long tendon began to revolve around his body. Although he did not refute Ao Feng's words, he definitely did not want the person who killed his precious daughter to live. Ao Feng could force Ao Kan to hand over the inheritance, but he could not protect Ao Kan's life. Ao Feng stood up. He had decided that under such circumstances, he had to help one side. At this moment, he could only help Ao Sha. Putting aside the fact that Ao Sha was the dragon tribe's right elder, even if he wanted to help Ao Kan would probably not stay in the five-clawed divine dragon tribe. If he wanted Ao Kan to stay in the five-clawed divine dragon tribe, there was only one way, and that was to capture Ao Kan by force. Fellow Taoists of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe, today was supposed to be a joyous occasion. However, I did not expect that the internal affairs of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe would implicate everyone. As a disciple of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe, Ao Kan had already committed a grave offense by openly killing a member of his tribe. After this matter is over, Ao Fong will apologize to everyone. After saying this, Ao Fong waved his hand. Including him and Ao Kan, a total of 13 third-step experts suddenly formed an encirclement. Not only did they surround Ao Kan, but they also surrounded Ning Cheng and Xiao Xinshi. To Ao Fong, Ning Cheng was just an early-stage Dao integration cultivator. As for Xiao Xinshi, she was just at the creation realm. Now that the 13 experts of the dragon tribe had surrounded the three of them, Ao Kan could not escape no matter how powerful he was. Xiao Xinshi pouted in disdain. Originally, he had not planned to take revenge for Ao Kan. He had not expected that they would take the initiative to attack him. Seeing that Ao Fong was about to attack, Ning Cheng suddenly said, "Clan leader Ao Fong, don't blame me for not reminding you. If you don't attack, this is just Ao Kan's personal grievances. If you attack, it is possible that the five-clawed divine dragon tribe will be wiped out." Ao Fong was slightly taken aback when he heard Ning Cheng's words. Then, he laughed angrily. A puny Dao integration holy emperor dared to threaten him, the clan leader of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe. I want to see how you can wipe out my five-clawed divine dragon tribe. I, Ao Fong, have lived to this day not because of threats. After laughing angrily, Ao Fong spoke sternly. After saying this, he was about to announce that he would attack when he suddenly heard a faint voice say, "Brother Fong, if I'm not wrong, what this Taoist said is true." If someone else had said this, Ao Fong would have ignored them. However, the person who spoke was Elder Chi Fong of the Duzhen Dao. Not to mention that Chi Fong was an early-stage Unity Realm expert. In terms of strength, he was only slightly weaker than Ao Fong. In terms of cultivation level, he was slightly stronger than Ao Fong. Most importantly, the Duzhen Dao was one of the famous Dao sects in the Heavenly Gate realm. Its reputation was no weaker than the five-clawed divine dragon tribe. Brother Qi. Ao Fong didn't attack immediately because of Qi Feng's words. Qi Feng didn't bother to greet Ao Fong. Instead, he stood outside the encirclement of the dragon tribe and cupped his fists at Ning Cheng. Qi Feng of Duzhen Dao greets Taoist Ning. Thank you for your magnanimity and mercy. Upon hearing this, Ning Cheng knew that there were people from the Duzhen Dao among the few third-step experts that he and Yi Mo had let go at the Heavens Beyond Square. Taoist Qi, you're too polite. The principle of Heavens Beyond is that we don't attack people if they don't attack us. Ning Cheng returned the salute calmly. Some people were grateful, and naturally, some people hated. He and Yi Mo had joined forces and killed 8 third-step experts from the Heavens Beyond realm. Only a few had escaped. You're Dao Lord Ning Cheng of Heavens Beyond realm. Ao Fong instantly understood and looked at Ning Cheng in shock. Chills ran down his spine. Among the Heavens Beyond realm experts who had gone to Heavens Beyond realm, no one from the five-clawed divine dragon tribe had been present. As the clan leader of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe, how could Ao Fong not know how terrifying Heavens Beyond was? 14 third-step experts from the Heaven's Gate Realm Alliance had gone to Heavens Beyond for revenge, including 4 Integration Realm experts. Even the weakest of the 4 Integration Realm experts was stronger than Ao Fong. In the end, only 5 of the 14 people had returned, including Sang Wanglong, who had gone to Heavens Beyond first. It was said that Ning Cheng and Yi Mo had shown mercy. Otherwise, none of them would have returned. Now, Ao Fong was going to attack such a person. Just as Qi Feng had said, once he attacked, the five-clawed divine dragon tribe would indeed be gone. Given Ning Cheng's rumored strength, once he killed the many third-step experts of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe, How could the five-clawed divine dragon tribe have the right to establish itself in the Heaven's Gate realm? Ning Cheng was slightly stunned. He was only at the Dao integration realm. Since when was he called a Dao Lord? He might have been called a Dao Lord in the Great Simplicity realm. In fact, Ning Cheng knew very well that a Dao Lord was completely different from a real Dao Lord. It would not be an exaggeration to say that he was trying to flatter himself. True Dao Lords were all experts of the third step. That's right, I'm Ning Cheng. Clan leader Ao, are you still going to catch me? Ning Cheng looked at Ao Feng and asked calmly. Ao Feng took a deep breath and said to Ning Cheng with cupped fists, Dao Lord Ning must be joking. The five-clawed divine dragon tribe has no enmity with Dao Lord Ning. How can we attack Dao Lord Ning? If Ning Cheng hadn't offended too many people in the Heaven's Gate realm, Ao Feng would have even said that he wanted to make friends with Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng had killed too many experts of the Heaven's Gate realm alliance. The five-clawed divine dragon tribe shouldn't be close to Ning Cheng. Brother Ao Sha, since this is an internal matter of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe, I suggest Ao Kan and Ao Qian settle it. How about we both stay out of it? After Ao Feng knew that Ning Cheng and Ao Kan had come together, he immediately changed his mind and turned to Ao Sha. Ao Sha clenched his fists. He understood what Ao Feng meant. Ao Feng didn't want to offend Ning Cheng, but he also wanted to help him. Ning Cheng's reputation was too great. If he also attacked, it was hard to guarantee that Ning Cheng wouldn't attack. Once Ning Cheng took action, Ao Sha would most likely die. Ao Sha wanted to see Ning Cheng's strength and see if he was as powerful as the rumors said. However, he didn't dare to take the risk. The best way was to let Ao Kan and Ao Qian deal with it alone. Seeing that Ao Sha didn't speak, Ao Feng cupped his fists towards Ning Cheng and asked, What does Dao Lord Ning think? Ning Cheng showed a slight smile. I naturally don't have any objections. As long as others don't intervene, I won't intervene either. Ao Kan will be responsible for his own life and death. Ao Kan had obtained the inheritance of the ancestral dragon, and Ao Qian, like Ao Kan, had just stepped into the third step. In Ning Cheng's opinion, Ao Qian definitely wasn't an opponent for Ao Kan. Since that's the case, then let them do it here. We'll protect the space on my side, but I'll have to trouble Dao Lord Ning to help me with the space on the other side. I'm afraid that the two of them would make too much noise and cause my dragon palace to collapse. Ao Feng quickly spoke up when he heard Ning Cheng agree. Ning Cheng understood Ao Feng's intentions. Most likely, Ao Feng didn't care about the collapse of the dragon palace, but wanted to see his true strength. Since he couldn't challenge Ning Cheng, he decided to use this little trick. Since Patriarch Ao doesn't have any problems, I naturally won't have any problems, Ning Cheng said calmly. Chapter 1345. Without waiting for Ao Feng to protect the space, Ao Qian's white spear had already turned into a white light that swept towards Ao Kan. Ao Kan's magic treasure was also white in color. However, it was not a spear, but a white ruler. When Ao Qian's white radiance swept towards Ao Kan's white ruler also erupted with violent waves. This is the 3 feet of the profound sea. Ao Feng muttered to himself in shock. The 3 feet of the profound sea was a top-grade magic treasure, the ancestral dragon's magic treasure. Now that Ao Kan had the 3 feet of profound sea, Ao Feng was even more convinced that Ao Kan had inherited the ancestral dragon's legacy. Both of their Dao rhymes clashed against each other and a violent aura burst forth. Ao Feng hurriedly worked with more than 10 third-step experts of the five-clawed divine dragon tribe to seal the space and block the violent aura from leaking out. Because Ao Kan's 3 feet of the profound sea attracted Ao Feng's attention, it wasn't until Ao Kan and Ao Qian started fighting that he remembered Ning Cheng, who was protecting the other side of the space. Then, just like the other spectators, he was completely stunned. Because Ning Cheng was simply too powerful, the cyan spear that was originally hanging on his back, at this moment, had transformed into a cyan curtain of spear patterns. This patch of green screen spear runes directly blocked the Dao aura of the two of them. No matter how strong Ao Kan and Ao Qian's sacred arts were, their violent energy was unable to spread out. Ao Feng sighed inwardly. He subconsciously glanced at Qi Feng. Fortunately, Qi Feng had reminded him just now. Otherwise, the fate of the five-clawed divine dragon clan would be unimaginable. Ao Mang and Ao Kan's intense battle didn't last long. In less than half an incense stick's worth of time, a bloody mist erupted from the white light. As the white light disappeared, the 3 feet of sea in Ao Kan's hand also disappeared. Ao Qian's corpse fell on the ground, no longer breathing. With a pale face, Ao Sha carried Ao Qian and left without saying a word. Ao Feng sighed in his heart. Ao Sha knew that even his own strength was not much stronger than Ao Kan's. Perhaps when Ao Kan and Ao Qian fought, Aoda had already thought that Ao Qian would definitely die. Big brother, let's go. After killing Ao Chang and Ao Shi, Ao Kan had already taken his revenge. He did not want to stay in the five-clawed divine dragon tribe at all. Good. Ning Qing responded and was the first to escape. Watching Ao Kan leave with Ning Qing, Ao Feng sighed in his heart once again. Even though he was sure that Ao Kan had obtained the ancestral dragon's inheritance, he couldn't ask Ao Kan to stay. He still had some impression of Ao Kan when he was chased away. If this kind of disciple could not advance to five-clawed, then so be it. It would not be a loss to the five-clawed dragon race. Only now did he realize that it wasn't just a loss. Perhaps Ao Kan was the only hope of the five-clawed dragon clan, but Ao Kan was not willing to be a disciple of the five-clawed dragon clan. Looks like we're in trouble, Xiao Xinshi said with a smile the moment the 3 of them charged out from the heavenly mandala ocean. The Ningqing trio had just rushed out of the heavenly man Luo Sea when nearly 20 people surrounded them, including at least 6 experts in the convergence realm. The leader of the group was a tall man with a faint layer of gold on his face. He was at the late stage of the unity realm. Daoist Ning, you're really gutsy. You didn't wait for us to go to the beyond of heaven and earth before you took the initiative to come to the heavenly gates realm. I am Omo, from Thunder Sound Valley and the 3rd Dao Lord of the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance. Mu Qiangjue, whom Dao Lord Ning killed, was an elder of my Thunder Sound Valley. The tall man stared at Ning Cheng and spoke in a cold tone. Ning Cheng had heard of Mu Qiangjue. He didn't kill him but Yi Mo. He couldn't be bothered explaining. He didn't care if he joined forces with Yi Mo. I heard there are 2 prodigies of the universe in heaven and earth beyond. One of them is called Yi Mo, right? I heard you 2 haven't reached the 3rd step but your power can instantly kill ordinary creation realm masters. When the 2 of you combine your 7 bridges mystic arts, you will be invincible. Back then, 14 3rd step experts from the Heaven Gate realm perished under your 7 bridges divine ability. But Yi Mo isn't here today. How will Daoist Ning escape from the Heaven Gate realm? After Mu Qiangjue's voice fell, another woman stared at Ning Cheng and spoke with a hint of sarcasm in her tone. Xiao Xian, she was instantly enraged. Xiao Xian, she was treated like air. Ning Cheng waved his hand to stop the furious Xiao Xinshi. At this moment, the guests of the 5-claw divine dragon race also came out of the heaven man Luo Sea. No one wanted to stay in the 5-claw divine dragon race after such a thing happened. When everyone came out, they saw a confrontation surrounded by killing intent. Everyone knew that some sects of the Heaven Gate realm had come to take revenge on Ning Cheng. With this power, it might not be enough to seek revenge in heaven and earth beyond, but it was more than enough to deal with Ning Cheng in the Heaven Gate realm. No one wanted to miss such a battle. Everyone watched from afar. Even some people who didn't come to the 5-claw divine dragon race's banquet rushed over due to the killing intent. After Ning Cheng stopped Xiao Xinshi's anger, he didn't care about the increasingly powerful killing intent. He glanced at the 19 third-step masters surrounding them. More than 10 masters from the Heaven Gate realm went to heaven and earth beyond because they wanted to take it for themselves. Even so, the Divine Tao Sect Lord and I didn't kill them all. The three of us were surrounded today, perhaps for revenge, or perhaps for something else. No matter what, I, Ning Cheng, will say it here. Anyone who participated in the siege against me today is my enemy. You're not the only ones who seek revenge every time. I, Ning Cheng, will seek revenge too. After this battle, I will visit those who besieged me one by one. If you still want to fight, then fight. If you don't, then leave. We have nothing to do with each other. Ning Cheng knew that although there were 3 people on their side, they were actually weaker than him and Yi Mo combined. In terms of combat power, they were probably weaker than him and Yi Mo combined. Yi Mo's power was definitely stronger than Xiao Xinqi and Ao Kan combined. Plus, Yi Mo could use 7 Bridges God art with him. If they fought, Ning Cheng could probably escape if he wasn't a match. An old fox like Xiao Xinqi would definitely have a way to escape. The only thing he was worried about was Ao Kan. Because of that, Ning Cheng wanted to destroy the opponent's power. After threatening for a while, Ning Cheng sound transmission to Xiao Xinqi, "Old Xiao, don't worry about anything else. Work with me to kill that Omo first. As long as you can lock that Xiao Xinqi down for a second, I'm confident in killing him." Xiao Xinqi was dazed. Kill Omo first. Omo was a Unity Realm tertiary stage expert. Even if it was a false realm, it was still a Unity Realm. Facing such a powerful being, even if he could kill him, it wouldn't be a simple matter. Plus, would the others just watch them fight? Ning Cheng said desperately, "Don't be afraid of getting hurt. As long as you don't die, I have a way to save you. I have truth essence of the universe, I'll give you a drop later." This was Ning Cheng's first time in the Heaven Gate realm, but the name of the universe's prodigies had already spread throughout the Heaven Gate realm. Sure enough, after Ning Cheng said that he would seek revenge, some of the powerful beings surrounding Ning Cheng started to waver. At their level of cultivation, they knew that it might be easy to defeat a powerful being, but it really wasn't easy to kill a powerful being. Hearing that Ning Cheng had the quintessential essence of the universe, Xiao Xinqi didn't even answer. Instead, the 5-story 5-colored divine light pagoda smashed towards Omo. He had been through many battles and knew the importance of timing. Under such circumstances, there was no need for Ning Cheng to repeat it a second time. Just as Omo was about to make a move, Xiao Xinqi's 5-story divine light pagoda arrived. The light from the 5-layered pagoda turned into 5 beams of light that locked onto Omo. The violent aura of a Taoist rhyme rolled over. Omo felt shocked. He couldn't care less about attacking Ning Cheng. Instead, his own Tao charm also started to surge as he tried to break free from the 5 beams of light. "Protect me and old Xiao." As Ning Cheng spoke, he also shot out a finger. Ning Cheng immediately used his law-breaking finger. He wanted to join forces with Xiao Xinqi to kill Omo first. Almost at the same time that Xiao Xinqi and Ning Cheng made their moves, more than a dozen law-based Tao charm lights blasted towards the trio. Boom boom boom. The Tao runes exploded, and the laws became chaotic. A moment ago, they were still in a standoff, but the next moment, they had turned into a chaotic melee. Bang bang. Crack. His protective domain shattered in an instant. Even though Ao Kan had immediately brought out the 3 feet of profound sea artifact to create a protective domain, he still couldn't block the joint attack of more than a dozen people. Poof. The moment Omo broke free from Xiao Xinqi's lock, Ning Cheng's law-breaking finger broke through all obstacles and directly blasted into Omo's glabella. Omo's fleshly body was like air, completely exploding under this finger. The surviving essence spirit didn't dare to stay here for even a moment. It immediately turned into a ray of light and disappeared without a trace. When Ning Cheng blasted out his law-breaking finger, several beams of light broke through Ao Kan's protective domain and his own protective domain before blasting into him. While Ning Cheng's bones broke, he also heard Xiao Xinshi suffer the same fate as him. Before the second wave of attacks arrived, Ning Cheng threw out 2 drops of true essence of the universe, one of which he gave to Xiao Xinshi. Xiao Xinshi's body didn't seem as strong as his and almost collapsed under the bombardment. The powerful restorative aura of the true essence of the universe instantly healed Xiao Xinshi and Ning Cheng's injuries and stabilized their Dao charm auras. Ao Kan had only protected his body and didn't participate in the sneak attack on Omo. As such, he suffered the least injuries. They're severely injured. One of the creation realm experts among the 3 people surrounding Ning Cheng had just spoken half a sentence when he suddenly paused. He saw Ning Cheng and Xiao Xinshi recover their auras at the fastest speed. Not only did they not suffer any injuries, but the Dao charm flowing around them had also become even more powerful. All of this happened in just a few breaths, but no one took the initiative to attack. Everyone felt the aura of the true essence of the universe. Ning Cheng also felt slightly relieved. In fact, if he, Xiao Xinshi and Ao Kan joined forces, it wouldn't be worthwhile to kill Omo first regardless of injuries. Fortunately, they succeeded. Although they didn't kill Omo completely, they had disintegrated this disunited alliance. My Chu clan has no enmity with the mysterious Yellow Sacred Dao sect. I'm withdrawing. A yellow-haired man was the first to withdraw from the encirclement. With the first one, the second one quickly followed. In just a dozen breaths, only 11 people remained surrounding Ning Cheng's group of 3. Ning Cheng breathed a sigh of relief. Only 11 people remained, including 3 realm-merging realm experts. With such a lineup, even without Ao Kan, he and Xiao Xinshi could still fight. Chapter 1346. The 11 people surrounded Ning Cheng's trio and did not immediately make a move. A few of them even hesitated whether to retreat or not. In fact, since Ning Cheng and Xiao Xinshi killed Omo in a sneak attack, there was no leader here. Even the woman who had ridiculed Ning Cheng before was hesitating at this moment. She had ridiculed Ning Cheng because she was sure that Ning Cheng's trio couldn't escape under the siege of 19 third-step experts no matter how strong they were. Now that only 11 of the 19 had fallen, the number of Convergence Realm experts had decreased by half. Of these 11 people, no one had taken the lead, and several of them were still hesitating. It would have been strange if she didn't hesitate. Ha! A burst of laughter came from the void, and everyone looked at the void. Ning Cheng's heart sank. This person hadn't arrived yet, but his aura was already suppressing. This definitely meant that he was a top-level expert. It seemed that there was a problem with his strategy. He shouldn't have waited until there were only 11 people left. Originally, he wanted to wait for a few more people to leave and then kill them all in one fell swoop. He didn't expect that 11 people wouldn't leave, but a more powerful one would come. As the laughter faded, a white-haired Taoist landed in front of everyone. Ning Cheng sighed. He had guessed correctly. This person was at least a peak Convergence Realm expert. This person had a solid Dao charm surrounding him, and he wasn't any weaker than Xiao Xinshi. In fact, he might even be stronger. When this white-haired Taoist arrived, everyone came forward to greet him. From this, one could tell that this person had a high status in the Heaven Gate realm. This is the strongest expert in the Heaven Gate realm, Mountain Gaze Dao Lord. He lives in a place called Mountain Gaze. I heard that you can only see the Mountain Gaze, but you can never reach it. Mountain Gaze Dao Lord rarely comes out, but every time he does, people will respect his words. Ao Kan whispered to Ning Cheng. The white-haired Taoist walked up to Ning Cheng and looked him up and down. Although Ning Cheng was very vigilant, he didn't make a move. Instead, he cupped his fists and said to Ning Cheng, "Dao friend Ning really is an outstanding talent of my generation. Presumably, The other Tao friend Yi of the universe's pride duo is also a powerhouse. My name is Mountain Gaze Tao Lord. Although I live in Mountain Gaze, it's not the real Mountain Gaze, but a fake mountain. Ning Qing didn't feel any killing intent from Tao Lord Mountain Gazing and politely cupped his fists. Ning Qing greets Tao Lord Mountain Gazing. Tao Lord, do you want to keep us here? Tao Lord Gazing showed a slight smile but didn't answer Ning Qing's words directly. Instead, he turned to everyone around him and said, Tao friends, I didn't want to intervene in this matter, but I still came here today. Fellow Taoists in the Heavenly Gates realm all know that I live in the Mountain Gaze. In fact, the place where I live is not the real Mountain Gaze. I named it myself. Because I yearn for the Mountain Gaze and have always wanted to go to the real Mountain Gaze. Mountain Gazing Tao Lord, please advise me. Qi Feng, who had come out of the Dragon Clan a long time ago, stepped forward in time and asked the white-haired Taoist with cupped fists. Tao Lord Mountain Gaze nodded. Why do we cultivate the Tao? Everyone had different answers in their hearts. But there's one thing that can't be erased, and that's that we cultivate for the sake of stepping foot onto the peak of the vast universe, to control our own destiny, to coexist with the heavens and earth, and to stand above the sun and moon. Ning Qing also nodded. It was too tacky to talk about longevity. In fact, when one cultivated to this stage, what they wanted was not just longevity. In the vast universe, only by controlling one's own destiny and the laws of heaven and earth could one obtain freedom. Only then would one have the joy of longevity. But since the beginning of the universe's chaos, everyone in this vast universe has not been able to control their own destiny. We have to go through all kinds of heart demon tribulations and all kinds of great Tao thunder tribulations to cultivate. We need to understand the laws of heaven and earth and experience the decline of heaven and earth. Everything needs to be established under certain laws. When Tao Lord Mountain Gaze said this, Ning Cheng's heart resonated with him. He suddenly felt that this white-haired Taoist was not a simple person. He had spoken out the pursuit that he was ignorant about. That was, his great Tao did not need the thunder tribulations of heaven and earth or the great decline. His spirit power did not need to understand the laws of heaven and earth. All the laws around him had to be created by him. This might be the ultimate pursuit of him. Tao Lord Mountain Gaze paused and said in a slightly low voice, to pursue this, we need to break through the vast universe we are in and set foot on it. In fact, this is not impossible. Those experts who have truly stepped into the third step have already felt how to do it. That's right, it's the gate of fortune. Only by opening the gate of fortune can we stand above the laws of the vast universe and control our own destiny. Tao Lord Mountain Gaze's words silenced everyone. Many people had a vague concept of what Tao Lord Mountain Gaze had said. However, this vague concept was not clear. It meant that they knew something, but what they knew was not perfect. Ning Qing already understood that Tao Lord Mountain Gaze had not come here to fight but to mediate. In fact, he did not want to fight either. If he fought with so many experts, it would only deepen the hatred between them. Moreover, it was not necessary. These were all third-step experts, and each of them had their own realm. Even if he killed them, he would not get many spoils of war. Tao Lord, please enlighten me. Ning Qing took a step forward. This time, he sincerely cupped his fists and asked for advice. Qi Feng had asked for advice the first time. This time, he was asking for advice. Tao Lord Mountain Gaze sighed. If you want to open the gate of fortune, you have to go through the creation war. I'm not talented, but I barely witnessed the first creation war. Because I wasn't qualified to enter the depths, I obtained the decay crossing treasure and survived. Tao Lord Mountain Gaze, I heard that the second gate of fortune will open in the Heaven Gate realm. Tao Lord Mountain Gaze, please tell us, at this time, the grievances between the Ningqing trio and the Heaven Gate realm experts were put aside. Most people were not concerned about this but about the opening of the gate of fortune. Tao Lord Mountain Gaze waved his hand. I'm not sure where the second gate of fortune will open. I guess the reason why people say that the second creation war will take place in the Heaven Gate realm is because of my residence. Only those who have participated in the creation war know that the gate of fortune is behind the mountain gaze. I changed my residence to the mountain gaze, which might have caused some misunderstandings. Xiao Xinqi chuckled in Ning Cheng's ear. This old Taoist is right. The gate of fortune does open in the mountain gaze. The mountain gaze has this name because you can only see the mountain, but you can never reach it. That's why it's called the mountain gaze. Lord Mountain Gaze's tone gradually turned low. In that case, doesn't that mean that we can only watch when the gate of fortune opens for the second time? Someone immediately asked after Lord Mountain Gaze said this. Lord Mountain Gaze sighed and said, in theory, that is indeed the case. However, all third-step experts must participate in the creation war. If they don't participate, they will have to undergo the heaven decay and die. Therefore, the creation great war was actually a battle between a few peak powerhouses. We are cannon fodder and pawns. Ning Cheng, who was the closest to Lord Mountain Gaze, frowned and asked, Lord Mountain Gaze, I've been to the first creation war. It was the Jiaoyang Mountain in the Jiaoyang realm. That place was filled with corpses and corpses of fallen experts. Since other people would only be cannon fodder if they went, what's the difference between them and not going to undergo the heaven decay and perishing? Lord Mountain Gaze sighed again. The difference is huge. Although the creation war was only a battle between a few experts, those experts all had someone to rely on. However, those experts all have someone they can depend on. For example, you and I, once we depend on a supreme expert, once that supreme expert steps into the gate of fortune, we can also step into the gate of fortune and control our own destinies, overlooking the world. Ning Cheng was stunned. He somewhat understood what Lord Mountain Gaze meant. This was equivalent to a subject following the emperor to conquer the country. Once the country was conquered, the subject would also be a feudal lord. However, since they were subjects, even if they controlled their own destiny, they would still be restricted by the emperor. They would only be under one person. Lord Mountain Gaze, do you mean that the experts who died in the Jiaoyang Mountain were the followers of those apex experts? Asked Ning Cheng. Lord Mountain Gaze nodded and said, that's right. However, in the first creation war, the strength of the experts from all sides was equal, and those who relied on them did not realize that they were pawns. In the end, they were defeated and injured, and no one could enter the gate of fortune. The reason I came out today is that I feel that the second gate of fortune is about to open. Once the second gate of fortune opens and the creation war arrives, we will all be pawns. Why should pawns be pawns? Why should pawns be pawns? This was what Lord Mountain Gaze really wanted to say. Ning Cheng subconsciously glanced at Xiao Xinqi. He finally understood why Xiao Xinqi wanted to follow him. It seemed that Xiao Xinqi saw him as a thick thigh and wanted to hug his thigh. When Xiao Xinqi saw Ning Cheng looking at her, she knew that Ning Cheng understood her thoughts and smiled awkwardly. Although it was not a shameful thing, she did not say it to Ning Cheng, which meant that she still had some doubts about whether Ning Cheng was the apex expert. Ning Cheng did not care about it. Since he was going to participate in the creation war, and he also had a creation treasure, he would definitely need some helpers. It was not a big deal for Xiao Xinqi to rely on him. Upon hearing Lord Mountain Gaze's words, many people were a little terrified. Many people who did not know about the creation war fell silent. As for the more than 10 third-step experts who were ready to fight Ning Cheng, they had long lost the will to fight. Lord Mountain Gaze said loudly, fellow Taoists, if I'm not wrong, the second gate of fortune will still open after the Jiaoyang Mountain because the mountain gaze is there. The beyond of heaven and earth is the best way for us to go to the Jiaoyang Mountain. Taoist Ning, as one of the people from the beyond of heaven and earth, I think we should work together. I heard that the beyond of heaven and earth is about to hold a battle to allocate realms. This is a good idea. Perhaps when the second creation war begins, we will have to join forces. Therefore, I hope that everyone will not engage in meaningless fights before that. Chapter 1347. Ning Cheng was not the only one who understood Mountain Dao Lord Wang's meaning. It was meaningless for them to fight now. When the gate of creation opened, they might all be subordinates of the same master. If they destroyed one now, they would have one less helper in the future. Moreover, according to Mountain Dao Lord's speculation, heavens beyond was very likely to be the only way to the gate of creation. It would not be good for the people of the heavenly gate realm to fall out with Ning Cheng, an expert from heavens beyond. Dao Lord Ning, I've offended you previously. I wonder if the Heaven Gate realm can participate in the realm division competition of heavens beyond. After Mountain Dao Lord Wang said that, a realm expert immediately cupped his fists and asked Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng also did not have any intention of staying in the Heaven Gate realm. Xiao Xinqi's and Mountain Dao Lord Wang's words made him eager to return to heavens beyond as soon as possible. No matter what, he had to enter seclusion after this realm division competition to improve his strength. Of course, Mountain Dao Lord Wang is right. There's no need for us to fight here. Since the gate of creation is about to open, I have to go back. Fellow Taoists, see you again in heavens beyond. After Ning Cheng said that, he cupped his fists at Dao Lord Mountain gazing and said, I admire Dao Lord's prestige and knowledge. I wonder if you can come to the heavens beyond of heaven and earth to preside over this competition. Mountain Dao Lord Wang laughed. I've long wanted to go to heavens beyond. I naturally won't refuse Daoist Ning's invitation. I suggest that it would be best to have one person from each domain host the competition this time. Heavens Beyond Rest Inn was not only the best inn in Heavens Beyond, but it also had the best spirit tea house. At that moment, two young men were sitting opposite each other in the most luxurious tea house of the Heavens Beyond Rest Inn. One of them was Ning Cheng, who had just returned to Heavens Beyond, while the other was Sacred Dao Sect Master Yi Mo, who had just come out of seclusion. Dao runes circulated all over Yi Mo's body. In just 3 years, he had completely stabilized his cultivation level and his strength had stabilized at the late-stage Dao integration realm. When Ning Cheng saw this, he couldn't help but secretly praise him in his heart. He really was worthy to be someone who cultivated a good fortune cultivation method. After Dao integration realm, he had been running around everywhere. Apart from stabilizing his cultivation level, his strength had not improved much. The sacred Dao sect master had been in seclusion for more than 2 times stronger than he had been when he had killed Feng Xian. However, Ning Cheng quickly put this envy aside. In the future, when he reached the late stage of Dao integration, his strength would also reach this level. There's still half a month before the battle. May I know why Dao friend Ning invited me here? Yi Mo's tone was calm. He was also confused why Ning Cheng invited him here. Ning Cheng saw that Yi Mo didn't reprimand Yi Huangping as soon as he came and felt much better. If Yi Mo had asked him about Yi Huangping's matter, he would not have asked him. Even if it was possible that the creation magic treasure was a poison trap, he didn't intend to say it. Sect Master Yi, you have also been to Jiaoliang Mountain. You should have heard about the Great Creation War, right? Ning Cheng asked directly. Yes, I have indeed heard of the Creation War. I also know that every time the gate of creation opens, the Creation War is about to begin. Sect Master Yi, have you ever heard that the good fortune artifact that you and I obtained might have been deliberately thrown out? Ning Cheng immediately asked. What? Yi Mo suddenly stood up and stared at Ning Cheng. He did not see any tricks in Ning Cheng's eyes. He was shocked. Who would be stupid enough to throw away a creation magic artifact? Even if he had given up the abstruse yellow bead, he would not have been able to get it. Ning Cheng also stood up and said word by word, according to what I know, our creation magic artifact might have an owner. However, the owners of the creation magic artifact were all heavily injured after the first creation war. They knew that they didn't have the time or energy to perfect their creation magic artifact, so they threw it away. When someone with great fortune perfected the creation magic artifact, they would take it back. Then, the person who perfected the creation magic artifact would become the creation spirit of the creation magic artifact. Hearing these words, Yi Mo frowned slightly but didn't refute it. After reaching Dao integration tertiary stage, he had a strange feeling. Most of his god arts were learned by himself. It was said that creation cultivation method contained creation god art, but he hadn't learned any creation god art up until now. Because of this, he had a strange feeling that something was wrong. The person with great fortune you mentioned should really have great fortune, right? After a long while, Yi Mo asked. Ning Qing said, I think so. Although the creation magic artifact has an owner, they threw it away and the creation magic artifact chose a new owner. It should have nothing to do with them. In other words, you and I became the owners of the creation magic artifact because we were chosen by the creation magic artifact. It has nothing to do with the original owner. Yi Mo suddenly asked, Dao friend Ning, you have the creation abstruse yellow bead now. If it was you, would you let the abstruse yellow bead choose a new owner? Ning Qing said decisively, of course not. Since it's mine, it won't be touched by others. If the abstruse yellow bead dies, if I live, the abstruse yellow bead lives. Saying this sentence, Ning Qing felt as if his mind was being poured with an unparalleled coolness. At this moment, the abstruse yellow bead fused with his will. Yi Mo laughed, that's right. Just like my golden page world, since it's mine, I won't throw it away. My world is an existence, it doesn't need any creation spirit. Those who let the creation magic artifact choose a new owner will forever lose the creation magic artifact and won't have the right to fight for the creation gate. If he wants to come, then come. Then, Yi Mo had the same feeling as Ning Qing. His will and golden page world seemed to fuse even more. The two understood what was going on and smiled at each other before sitting down again. Ning Qing also felt enlightened. If he wanted to rob it, then come. According to what I know, the creation war is coming. Dao friend Yi, what do you think? Ning Qing asked. He didn't want to join forces with Yi Mo in the creation war. Since the first person to go in was the true ruler, he didn't want to be the second. He wanted to discuss with Yi Mo that they shouldn't fight before dealing with their opponents. Yi Mo clearly heard what Ning Qing meant and smiled, I think the same as you. Heaven beyond heaven is where we can improve our power. In this place, we can join forces with anyone who comes. Since it's the creation war, we can't avoid a battle. Then, we'll fight after dealing with our opponents. Okay. Ning Qing agreed to Yi Mo's proposal without hesitation. He knew that even without Yi Huangping, there would be a battle between him and Yi Mo. Both of them had creation magic artifact. No one wanted to give up the creation gate. He admired Yi Mo's character. If it was someone else, they would have killed him before he grew up. But Yi Mo didn't have any killing intent at all. This was a powerful confidence and broad-minded mind. Other than this, his heart was bright and clear. From a certain perspective, he was the same type of person as Yi Mo. If he was stronger than Yi Mo, he wouldn't fight first. Unless Yi Mo's character was too bad and offended him. Dad, you must not fight. At this moment, a desperate woman's voice sounded. Then, a girl wearing a pale yellow dress charged in. Yi Mo, why are you here? Yi Mo asked in confusion. He wasn't surprised that Yi Mo could charge in. As a matter of fact, when Yi Mo arrived outside the room, he already knew. Yi Mo was his daughter, no one dared to stop her in the Heavens Beyond Rest Hotel. You guys. Yi Mo looked at Ning Qing and Yi Mo in confusion. She could feel a powerful clash between the two, but there was no killing intent. Ning Cheng smiled at Yimo. He finally realized who this woman was. She always said her dad was very strong, and now it seemed he was indeed very strong. He crippled Yi Huangping but saved Yimo's daughter a few times. What was this? Let's go. Yi Mo pulled Yimo up and nodded to Ning Cheng before leaving the room. Wait, after Yi Mo and that woman left, Ning Cheng felt something wasn't right. Dad seemed to be a term of address only found on Earth. Why did this Yimo woman call him Dad too? Ning Cheng's thoughts only turned for a moment, before he understood what was going on. This should be because of Tian Mu Wan. That woman called Yimo and Tian Mu Wan were together, and naturally learned a few things. Dad, you wouldn't fight with that Ning Cheng, right? Yimo was embarrassed to talk to Ning Cheng in front of her dad, but she was very concerned about Ning Cheng's situation. Yi Mo smiled. Even if we were to fight, it wouldn't be here. Huh? Yimo was shook. What should she do? She couldn't let her dad fight with Ning Cheng. By the way, Ning Cheng also came from Earth. The beyond of heaven and earth had never been as lively as it was today. That was because the first round of the Heavens Beyond Realm Division competition would be held today, an alchemy battle. Although the realm of Heavens Beyond was going to be redivided, the inns in Heavens Beyond were not closed. Before the realms were redivided, these places still belonged to each of them. Even if the realms were redivided, perhaps these rest stops could be rented from the owners of the new areas. Plus, there were too many people in Heavens Beyond at this moment. Almost every rest stop was full. Heavens Beyond Square had been opened long ago. It could hold tens of millions of people, but it was also full. Chapter 1348. The competition this time was divided into 5 segments. The first was a battle of techniques, the second was a battle of pills, the third was a battle of weapons, the fourth was a battle of talismans, and the fifth was a battle of formations. For a Starry Sky cultivator, each of the 5 segments was a great survival skill. In order to simplify things, the rules of the competition were that the top 3 in each segment would be awarded 100 points, the second 50 points, and the third 20 points. Each person could participate in up to 3 segments. As long as the participants from the same realm could obtain points, the points could be stacked, and the stacked points would become the total points of the realm. Ning Cheng registered for magical powers, alchemy, and weapon battles. In fact, Ning Cheng believed that he was most likely to win first place not in magical powers, alchemy, or weapon battles, but in Array Dao. However, he did not want to expose his true strength in Array Dao. Array Dao was different from alchemy and equipment Dao. At a critical juncture, it was likely to be a life-saving thing. Once he participated in the competition, even if he did not show his true strength, those Array Dao experts might be able to pry into his Array Dao technique from the details of his array formation. Since the Second Creation War was coming, it was naturally best not to expose such a trump card. The 5 segments were the final segment of magical powers. No matter when, strength was the most important, so magical powers were the final segment. The first segment was the Battle of Alchemy. Alchemy was a necessary auxiliary technique in cultivation. The second segment was the Battle of Weapons. Not everyone could have a connate Dharma treasure. Good Dharma treasures were artificially refined. Because of this, equipment Dao was an indispensable segment in the process of cultivation. The third segment was the Battle of Talismans. The Talisman Dao was the most mysterious skill. Anyone who could stand in the beyond of heaven and earth knew how to refine talismans. However, there were not many who could refine truly top-notch talismans. Therefore, talisman Dao experts were the least and the most inconspicuous. The fourth segment was the Battle of Formations. The Array Dao was the most mysterious segment of the 5 segments. This was because Array Dao experts could even kill strong enemies without making a move. This segment was placed at the back, second only to magical powers. Apart from the battle of formations and magical powers, the other three segments used their own materials. The Beyond of Heaven and Earth did not provide any battle materials. Under Dao Lord Mountain Gazing's suggestion, there were 7 judges for this competition. Each of the 7 realms that intersected with Heavens Beyond would have one judge. The Jiaoliang realm was not considered a big realm because the Heavens Beyond of Heaven and Earth had a close relationship with the Jiaoliang realm. In addition, the current Heavenly Lord of the Heavens Beyond of Heaven and Earth, Feng Huangmei, was from the Jiaoliang realm. The Jiaoliang realm also had a judge, and that was Heaven Lord Feng Huangmei. The other 6 judges were Dao Lord Mountain Gaze of the Skygate realm, Dao Lord Miruan of the Three Elements realm, Dao Lord Liao Qianluo of the 9 Heavens realm, Dao Lord Fei Yin of the 7 Aqua realm, Dao Lord Jialan Feng of the Longevity realm, and Dao Lord Shen Mo of the Innocuous realm. Apart from Feng Huangmei, the weakest among the 6 was at the early stage of the Unity realm. At that moment, the competition platform above the Heavens Beyond Square had already been set up. There were defensive restrictions around the platform that could only be observed with one's eyes and not with one's spiritual consciousness. As the current Heavenly Lord of the Beyond of Heaven and Earth, Feng Huangmei was the first to fly and land in the middle of the competition platform. As Feng Huangmei appeared, the Heavens Beyond Square instantly fell silent. Feng Huangmei felt emotional. In terms of cultivation level, his cultivation level was really nothing in the current Heavens Beyond of Heaven and Earth. Due to the strength of Ning Cheng and Yi Mo, as well as the negotiation with the surrounding major realms, this competition had become peaceful. Even he had become one of the most influential figures in the Heavens Beyond of Heaven and Earth. Fellow Taoists, it's my honor to be able to stand here today. In terms of cultivation level, there are countless people who are stronger than me. I only have the opportunity to stand here and talk to everyone because I came to the Heavens Beyond of Heaven and Earth earlier. On behalf of the Heavens Beyond of Heaven and Earth, I welcome any friend with goodwill to come here. At this point, Feng Huangmei raised his voice. Many of you here are fellow Taoists who have been cultivating hard. In order not to waste your time, I announce the official start of the Heavens Beyond of Heaven and Earth's competition. The first round of the competition is the alchemy battle. Let me reiterate that apart from redividing the realms of the Heavens Beyond of Heaven and Earth, this competition is also to enhance the friendship between the major realms. No one took Feng Huangmei's words seriously, even though many reclusive experts had guessed that the Second Creation War was coming. However, there was obviously no friendship involved in this competition. Occupying a piece of territory in the Heavens Beyond of Heaven and Earth would be the most advantageous no matter which plane the creation gate would reopen in the future. If you'd like to watch the battle, please take a seat at the side. Fei Yin cupped his fists and said in a neither haughty nor humble manner. After saying that, he looked at Mountain Gaze Dao Lord and the others. Without needing Fei Yin to speak, Mountain Gaze Dao Lord and the others already stood up. Ning Cheng looked at the woman next to Xing Shi in confusion. He also knew this woman. When he went to Everlasting Sacred Shrine, Jing Yi told him that this woman's name was Shu Chang, the new saintess of 9 Plate Star Continent's Everlasting Sacred Shrine. She was also a disciple of Everlasting Sacred Shrine Seeking Intelligence. When he killed Seeking Intelligence and destroyed Everlasting Sacred Shrine's Everlasting Sacred Tree, this woman had been watching from the side. Ning Qing didn't expect this woman to be so muddle-headed. In the blink of an eye, she became a powerhouse like Xing Shi and reached the late-stage Eternal Realm. Xu Chang didn't seem to see Ning Cheng, or if she saw Ning Cheng, she pretended not to see him. She just lowered her head and followed behind Xing Shi. Regardless of whether Xu Chang would seek revenge on him or not, Ning Qing didn't care. He also flew to the battle stage. Regardless of whether he had to fight Xing Shi or not, he had to come to this battle stage. As soon as Ning Cheng landed on the battle stage, Mountain Gaze Dao Lord's voice reached Ning Cheng's ear. Dao Lord Ning, I know this Xing Shi. During the Creation War, she had been by Sacred Leader Green Lotus' side. I didn't expect her strength to be so strong that she could directly tear apart the realm of heavens beyond. I'm far from being her opponent. Hearing this, Ning Qing thought of Shu Chang. The role Shu Chang played seemed to be the same as the role Xing Shi played beside Dao Lord Green Lotus. Yi Mo also flew to the battle stage. Although the other contestants hadn't come up yet, Xing Shi still felt the oppressive aura. She didn't care and smiled faintly. Since it's a regional competition of heavens beyond, as a Dao cultivator of this universe, I'm naturally qualified to participate in the competition. Therefore, I have to participate in this round of alchemy. By the way, my name is Xing Shi. Don't make a mistake when you calculate the ranking. Fei Yin subconsciously looked at Mountain Dao Lord gazing. In fact, it was Mountain Dao Lord gazing, Yi Ning, and the other two who had planned for the competition to be held without any obstruction. Mountain Gaze Dao Lord said faintly, since you're here to participate in the competition, you're naturally allowed. After hearing Mountain Gaze Dao Lord's words, Fei Yin said to Xing Shi, since you're here to participate in the competition, of course you're allowed. Then, Fei Yin didn't say anything more to Xing Shi. Instead, she said to everyone, due to a small matter, we had to stop for a while. Now, the competition will continue. The first round is Void Pill Refinement. The pill to be refined is Slaughter Pill. The time for pill refinement is 1 day. Prepare your own divine spirit herbs. All contestants, please come on stage. The battle will begin now. Void pill refinement meant that one didn't need a pill cauldron for pill refinement. This method of pill refinement was extremely difficult for ordinary people. However, those who could stand here and participate in the competition were all powerhouses. Without a pill cauldron, there would basically be no problem. The only problem was that everyone felt that this alchemy battle wasn't just about the alchemy Dao. It was also a competition of strength. The slaughter pill's level wasn't high for the people here. It was just a type of Dao essence Dao pill. To concoct such a pill, one needed to fuse one's own killing intent Dao waves. When fighting with others, using the slaughter pill could directly increase one's killing force and killing intent. It could be said that when two pilled divines of the same power concocted the slaughter pill, the one who was stronger would have a stronger effect. Putting away the fortune divine spear, Zhang Xian summoned a ball of flames as well. At the same time, he also understood why Xing Shi had come looking for him. It seemed like she had come specifically for him. But when he came here and saw the competition, he decided to join in. Time, it, divine, he, holy flame, were up. It was actually the nameless sacred flame. There was no one who didn't want this kind of flame. Holy, up with, divine, was, she had up with, up with, up, with, she firmly, time, comma, she, determined, with, good. Fortune, with time, with, divine, time, when Ning with time, he, she wouldn't make the same mistake of chasing Yi Mo on Ning Cheng. Everyone's attention only lasted for a short time. When everyone started to refine the slaughter pill, the entire stage was quickly surrounded by killing intent, and the powerful killing aura almost materialized on the stage. The slaughter pill needed to contain killing intent. With 600 or 700 people refining the slaughter pill at the same time, the killing intent contained in it was naturally majestic. Ning Cheng had already tried refining pills without a furnace. It was just like when one didn't use a weapon furnace to refine an elixir. The elixir that was refined contained a wild and violent nature. This kind of pill wasn't suitable for cultivation, but it was perfect for refining the slaughter pill. Although the primordial Dao pill was precious, it wasn't complicated for Ning Cheng. However, when Ning Cheng refined the slaughter pill, he didn't just use the few main god spirit grasses from the original pill recipe. He changed the main god spirit grasses into 4. In addition to the brilliant bone grass, broken mountain vine, and impermanence heavenly tendons, he also added a material, sea burial astral sand. The sea burial astral sand wasn't an alchemy material, but an artifact crafting material. When refining a weapon, adding the sea burial astral sand could enhance the killing aura and killing power. Although it couldn't improve the weapon's grade, it could improve the weapon's combat power. The reason why Ning Cheng added the sea burial astral sand was because he guessed that the second round would be in pill battle. Otherwise, no one would have refined such a simple pill like the slaughter pill in the first round. Because refining such a pill, even if one refined it in the void, it wouldn't eliminate a true alchemy powerhouse. Ning Cheng also knew that he wasn't the only one who could guess the second round of the pill battle. Most people could guess that the second round would be in pill battle. Since they could guess that the second round would be in pill battle, everyone would at most integrate a stronger killing intent and slaughter Dao charm when refining the slaughter pill. There weren't many alchemists like Ning Cheng who could add the sea burial astral sand to the slaughter pill. Even if someone could join in, they probably wouldn't be able to finish refining the slaughter pill within an hour. Adding the sea burial astral sand to the pill refining material was extremely difficult. Ning Cheng's pill Dao level had touched Dao integration pill divine state, and he was also a top-grade forgery master. Although it was difficult to add the sea burial astral sand into a Dao essence Dao pill, it wasn't impossible. Originally, Ning Cheng only needed 15 minutes to finish refining the slaughter pill, but because he added the sea burial astral sand, Ning Cheng used 15 minutes to finish. 2 incense sticks of time to concoct a cauldron of slaughter pill wasn't slow at all. When Ning Cheng put away the flame and pill spell and looked at Xing Shi, he saw that Xing Shi had already finished and was staring at Yi Mo. Ning Cheng immediately realized that the first person to finish refining the slaughter pill wasn't him nor Xing Shi, it was Yi Mo. 2 hours passed quickly, and when Fei Yin stood on the stage and announced that it was time for pill concoction, everyone had finished. Other than a few who failed, more than 90% of the alchemists had completely refined the slaughter pill. Fei Yin stood on the stage and saluted with her fists. The first round is over, we will now proceed to the second round. All pill saints, please open the jade bottles of the slaughter pills you have refined and place them on the stage, then withdraw from the stage. The second round was indeed a pill battle. Just like Ning Cheng, the contestants didn't have any objections. Clearly, everyone had guessed what the second round would be. As the contestants left the stage, the restriction on the stage was activated again. Fei Yin threw a few formation flags onto the stage and a berserk murderous chi started to spread on the stage. In just a few breaths of time, the many jade bottles placed on the stage began to sway as one slaughter pill after another rushed out of the jade bottles, emitting waves of slaughter aura. This murderous chi soon covered the entire stage. Those slaughter pills that didn't have time to rush out of the jade bottles were smashed by the murderous chi of the pills that rushed out first. It was a pill battle indeed, much more exciting than pill concoction. Thousands of pills were strewn all over the competition stage, and each pill represented a pill refiner's killing intent. From time to time, these pills would give off bursts of murderous Dao charm, as if they wanted to smash apart the surrounding pills. Some of the pills, when they were about to break apart, even rushed towards the other pills. Even if they were about to break apart, they still wanted to smash apart the other pills. Although it was only a pill battle, but the roars of the murderous chi caused the restrictions on the stage to shake. Although it was obviously a pill battle, but it carried with it a kind of metal clashing sound. All the spectators felt as if they were not looking at thousands of pills fighting each other on the stage, but rather thousands of soldiers and horses fighting each other. However, everyone was clear in their hearts that in a pill battle, it was not enough to rely on the strength of the slaughter pills that they refined. Pills themselves did not have any spiritual wisdom, and this kind of chaotic battle meant that the opponents of each pill were not fixed. As a pill, perhaps it would just kill off a pill next to it, but would end up being bombarded by the murderous chi of another pill. Therefore, in this kind of pill battle, in addition to the pill itself being powerful, it also required a certain amount of luck. Luck had always been a kind of strength. Only those extremely high-grade and powerful slaughter pills would instinctively try to avoid the murderous qi that they could avoid. Ning Qing could feel that his 12 pills were invincible, smashing apart all the surrounding pills that wanted to attack him, causing him to feel slightly relieved in his heart. The effect of the sea burial astral sand finally manifested. This murderous qi definitely did not come from the slaughter pills alone. The murderous qi of the slaughter pills on the stage permeated through the stage, causing some of the spectating holy emperors to feel a little scared. In the face of thousands of such powerful murderous qi, even if a person with a slightly weaker cultivation went up, they would most likely be torn apart by these pills. Dao charm explosions and the sound of metal clashing reverberated throughout the stage. However, the number of slaughter pills on the stage kept decreasing. Originally, there were thousands of slaughter pills, but at this moment, there were only less than 100. As the roars of the Dao charm explosions weakened, the spectators quickly discovered that the remaining slaughter pills' murderous qi grew even stronger. Moreover, there was another extremely strange scene. Among the more than 100 surviving slaughter pills, more than 80 slaughter pills were suspended in various corners and did not continue to participate in the battle. And in the middle of the stage, there were close to 20 slaughtering pills, surrounding another 10 slaughtering pills, still fighting. Some people thought that they were seeing things, but when they looked carefully, they found that it was indeed the case. The 30 slaughter pills on the stage seemed to have a spiritual nature, forming two factions. Among them, the 20 pills on the periphery were one faction, while the 10 pills in the middle were the other faction. Waves after waves of killing qi were released from the 20 slaughter pills on the outer perimeter, exploding towards the 10 slaughter pills that were surrounded. At the same time, the 10 slaughter pills also exuded a powerful murderous qi, which clashed with the incoming murderous qi of the Dao charm. This murderous qi formed a whirlpool-shaped space, blowing away all the slaughter pills on the periphery. In the end, it formed a situation where the 30 slaughter pills fought here, while the remaining slaughter pills watched from the side. Chapter 1350. Ning Qing subconsciously glanced at Yi Mo. He knew that Yi Mo must have added other materials like him when he was concocting pills. Otherwise, there wouldn't be 10 pills left now. At the same time, Xing Shi also added other materials into her pill concoction. Ning Qing sighed helplessly. No one with a fortune treasure was weak indeed. Now, each of them had 10 pills left, but he and Yi Mo's slaughter pill were working together. This was caused by his will when he was concocting pills. It could be seen that Yi Mo also added the will to get rid of Xing Shi's pill when he was concocting pills. The stage was isolated by restriction and no one's spirit sense could interfere. Kacha, one of the 30 medicinal pills, broke into pieces. Ning Cheng's heart sunk. This shattered pill was his. Before he could react, there were 2 more cracks. Yi Mo's pill and Xing Shi's pill each shattered. Ning Qing knew that the strongest person in this tournament was Xing Shi. Next was the Divine Dao sect leader Yi Mo. His power was ranked 3rd. Just as he had expected, the slaughter pill not only competed in pill concoction but also cultivation level. From this, it could be seen that Xing Shi was probably the strongest in terms of pill concoction power alone. At this moment, Ning Cheng was very worried. Time was almost up, and the 3 of them each had 9 pills. If he couldn't get rid of one of Xing Shi's pills, then he might be ranked 3rd or tied with Yi Mo for 2nd. He couldn't let Xing Shi get first. However, Ning Cheng couldn't control his slaughter pill to attack Xing Shi's Dao pill. The slaughter pill in the middle of the battle platform seemed to have understood Ning Cheng's thoughts, as the murderous aura suddenly turned violent, rolling up a whirlpool of aura as it rushed towards Xing Shi's pill. At the same time, Yi Mo's 9 slaughter pills also erupted. Kacha. Another sound of a pill shattering rang out. Pills were pills after all. No matter how strong the slaughter qi was, it still lacked power in a real clash. Ning Qing rejoiced. This time, it was Xing Shi's pill. Xing Shi only had 8 slaughter pills. If he and Yi Mo attacked with their slaughter pills, Xing Shi would be kicked out of first for sure. Xing Shi's slaughter pills seemed to know that the situation wasn't good. They suddenly dispersed and rushed out of the encirclement. The scattered pills immediately stirred up the slaughter pills refined by the other cultivators. The slaughter pills were originally hiding at the side of the stage, but after this disturbance, the slaughter chi in the stage once again spread out. Even though the slaughter pills at this time had become even fewer, the slaughter pills that were left behind were the few that had the strongest slaughter chi. The sounds of pills shattering became more frequent, and after the time it took for an incense stick to burn, Fei Yin suddenly threw down the array flag. The murderous aura on the stage suddenly slowed down, and the pills that were tangled together slowly separated and fell on the jade plate that had been prepared in advance. There were a total of 7 jade plates floating in the air. The first and second jade plates had 7 pills on them respectively, while the third jade plate had 6 pills. The fourth jade plate only had 2 elixirs, while the other jade plates only had 1 elixir each. Ning Qing breathed easy, he knew that he only had 7 pills left. Xing Shi still had 6 pills left under his and Yi Mo's slaughter pills. This woman was too strong. Indeed, Fei Yin stood on the stage and announced, "The second round of the pill battle has ended, there are 7 pills concocted by Pill Divine left. Because we're only taking the top 3, the Pill Divine with the first 4 jade plates please come on the stage." Ning Qing stepped onto the stage and saw other than Yi Mo and Xing Shi, there was also a white-haired old man he had never seen before. This white-haired old man seemed to be at creation state. His long white hair made him seem to have the immortal chi of the longevity god. The white-haired old man stood next to the jade plate that only had 2 pills left. Clearly, he concocted these 2 pills. "Now, I announce the first place of the first round is 2 people, Yi Mo and Ning Qing, second is Xing Shi, third is Liao Gung Daoist." As Fei Yin's announcement sounded, the first round of the pill battle ended. There were 2 people in first place, Ning Qing and Yi Mo. The second place was that woman who suddenly joined. Third was an old man many people didn't know, he was called Liao Gung Daoist. Ning Qing knew very well that his attainments in the Tao of alchemy could only rank third here, while this woman named Xing Shi ranked first. Not only Ning Qing knew this, but the judges also knew this. But no one would stand up and say anything. This woman was an uninvited guest. The first pill competition ended in less than a day's time. One could see that the purpose of this competition was to quickly divide the realms of heaven beyond. Xing Shi didn't say anything and just grabbed the pills she concocted and asked Fei Yin, "What's the second round?" Fei Yin already knew that Xing Shi wasn't simple, so he quickly answered, "The second round is forgery battle. The host is Shou-Yi Realm's Tao friend He Lan Feng." He Lan Feng landed beside Fei Yin and nodded to Xing Shi. Then, he cupped his fists and said, "Fellow Taoists, everyone knows that having a good Dharma treasure is a guarantee for a starry sky cultivator's life. Now, let's move on to the second round, which is the forgery battle. I'll host the forgery battle. I'm He Lan Feng from Shou-Yi Realm. There are a total of 921 people who signed up for the forgery battle." Xing Shi interrupted He Lan Feng and said, "I will also participate in the battle of tools." Then, she turned around and flew off the stage. This woman was really arrogant. This was He Lan Feng's only impression of her. He knew that she was very powerful. If she wasn't, Mountain Gaze Tao Lord wouldn't have accommodated her. Tao friends, the second round also has no round limit. The final goal is to decide the top 3. When He Lan Feng announced on the stage, many people who were participating or watching already knew that there wouldn't be too many rounds. There definitely wouldn't be too many rounds for dueling weapons. It was just like pill duels only had 2 rounds to decide the winner. At the moment, it was better to decide the top 10 as soon as possible. This was purely a competition for points and not a competition to verify one's alchemy or blacksmithing abilities. Before the competition in Heavens Beyond, we said that we wouldn't provide any materials for this competition. However, we'll provide materials for the first round of blacksmithing. Ning Cheng was a little puzzled by He Lan Feng's words. Even though he didn't know the content of the competition, he knew that it wasn't really a test of strength but to determine the ranking. Since they were providing materials, it was really a competition of strength. Everyone was using the same kind of material. Naturally, those who were capable would be ranked at the top while those who were incapable would be ranked at the bottom. Upon seeing the discussion going on below the stage, He Lan Feng simply waved his hand and threw nearly 1,000 fist-sized things. These things floated in the void of the stage. Were these Dharma treasure fragments? Ning Cheng immediately recognized these things at a glance. He had seen too many such Dharma treasure fragments back in the Jiaoyang Mountains Heaven-Earth Divine Tomb. Although the Dharma treasure fragments thrown out by He Lan Feng were fragmented, their Dao runes were crisscrossing, showing that their levels were not low. These were fragments of a top-notch Dharma treasure. It was unknown whether He Lan Feng had provided these Dharma treasure fragments or the 7 people who hosted the competition had provided them together. While Ning Cheng was still puzzled, He Lan Feng continued, these Dharma treasure fragments were provided by Dao Lord Mountain Gaze of the Heavenly Gate Realm, who participated in the First Creation War. He also picked up these Dharma treasure fragments from the battlefield of the First Creation War. Most importantly, He Lan Feng deliberately paused before continuing, most importantly, these Dharma treasure fragments are from a Dharma treasure. The quality of this Dharma treasure can even surpass any divine weapon. Although it can't be compared to a connate Dharma treasure, it's second only to a connate Dharma treasure. Upon hearing this, everyone was secretly shocked. An existence second only to a connate Dharma treasure had actually been blasted into pieces. There were even 1,000 fragments. Just how powerful was the Dharma treasure that bombarded this Dharma treasure? The first round of the artifact duel is for each person to obtain a Dharma treasure fragment. Then, based on the aura of the Dharma treasure fragment, you have to find out what the Dharma treasure was like before it broke and what its main function was. The second round is to refine the Dharma treasure fragment you obtained and extract the materials used to refine the Dharma treasure. The purer the materials, the higher the score. Hearing He Lan Feng's words, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Not only the people participating in the artifact duel, but even the onlookers also sucked in a breath of cold air. Even those who didn't understand artifact crafting knew that once the materials were melted and started to refine the Dharma treasure, the materials would start to change. Moreover, different flames and different spiritual consciousnesses would cause different changes to the Dharma treasure. Sometimes, even a small difference could cause a huge change in the materials. Because of this, people could use the same materials to refine different things. Some people could even refine Dharma treasures with completely opposite effects. Although it was difficult to identify the original form of the Dharma treasure fragment, it was still possible. Extracting the original materials from the fragments was simply too difficult. Ning Cheng also felt speechless. This was the most difficult question he had encountered since he participated in the various artifact duels. Fortunately, this question came up during the artifact crafting round. If Fei Yin had taken out a medicinal pill during the alchemy round and asked him to restore the divine grass, he would have directly admitted defeat. Directly admitted defeat? Ning Cheng suddenly recalled Dao Lord Mountain Gazing's words. What was the purpose of cultivation? To set foot at the peak of the vast universe and control one's own destiny. His grand Tao was the primal chaos unification. If he cultivated his grand Tao to the extreme, the entire vast universe would be under his control. Wouldn't he be able to restore a Dharma treasure fragment to its original form with just a raise of his hand? Not to mention Dharma treasures, even medicinal pills could be restored to the state of spiritual grasses as long as one had that kind of spiritual power. No matter how many changes a material went through, its original form would never change. Chapter 1351. As He Lanfeng announced the start of the blacksmithing competition, nearly 1,000 contestants boarded the competition platform. Ning Cheng also flew to the competition platform and thousands of fragments floated above it. Ning Cheng glanced at them and subconsciously felt that one of the ear-shaped fragments seemed to have a familiar aura. Without thinking much about it, Ning Cheng walked past the fragments around him and grabbed the ear-shaped fragment. Unexpectedly, before he could grab the ear-shaped fragment, an aura instantly rushed over. Ning Cheng did not need to observe to know that it was Xing Shi. Without thinking much, Ning Cheng grabbed the ear-shaped fragment and took out the creation divine spear. This woman still hasn't given up. Is she going to plot against me? Give me the fragment in your hand. I like this kind of fragment. Xing Shi did not attack Ning Cheng. Instead, she looked at him calmly and said. Seeing that Xing Shi didn't want to kill him, but came here for this fragment, Ning Cheng also put away the good fortune spirit spear and looked at Xing Shi with a cold gaze. There are many fragments here. Do you think I'm related to you? Why should I give you the fragment in my hand? Get lost. She was a peerless expert, while Ning Cheng, a puny early-stage Dao integration cultivator who only had a creation Dharma treasure, dared to tell her to get lost. At that moment, Xing Shi's face turned pale and her killing intent condensed into a substance. Ning Cheng confronted Xing Shi without any fear. It would be best if this woman attacked and then everyone would attack together to drive this woman out of heavens beyond. Xing Shi stared at Ning Cheng for a while but did not attack in the end. Instead, she took a deep breath and dispersed her killing intent. At the same time, she tried to slow down her tone and said, Give me this fragment and I'll agree to one of your requests. Get lost. Don't blame me for making a move if you keep being long-winded. Ning Cheng did not have a good impression of this woman. An Yi had been suppressed by this woman for countless years and had almost died in her hands. He himself had almost been killed by this woman, so it would be strange if he had a good impression of this woman. Very well, remember what you said today. Xing Shi shouted at Ning Cheng sternly before retreating. Xing Shi had always wanted this fragment, so Ning Cheng already had some doubts in his heart. After Xing Shi left, Ning Cheng took out the fragment. As soon as the fragment was in his hand, an ancient aura of vicissitude spread. Amidst this ancient vicissitude, there was a trace of murderous aura. Ning Cheng did not rush to melt this fragment, but rather penetrated it with his spiritual consciousness. Clang! A simple and desolate sound of a bell suddenly resounded within Ning Cheng's sea of consciousness, causing Ning Cheng's spirit to suddenly clear up, as his spiritual sense was blocked out from this fragment. Could it be that this fragment was once a bell-shaped magic weapon? Ning Cheng's gaze swept towards the rest of the people. He found that most of the people here had already brought out their flames and started to melt the magical weapon fragments. Only that woman, Xing Shi, was still glaring at him hatefully, clearly unwilling to give up. Ning Cheng ignored this woman and once again tried to penetrate the fragment with his spiritual consciousness. The ancient and vast bell sound once again fell within his spiritual consciousness. Although the sound of the bell was dang, it contained a kind of deep and vast sound of a drum. This was definitely not an ordinary magic treasure. In fact, it was not even a magic treasure that had not reached the Khanate level. Just a fragment of the bell had such an effect. How powerful was this magic treasure? Because of the previous experience of having his spiritual sense expelled, Ning Cheng was already prepared when his spiritual consciousness penetrated the fragment for the second time. The ancient bell sound did not expel his spiritual consciousness again. Soon, an ancient battle scene appeared in his mind. An ancient giant bell was suspended in the void, and the countless magic treasures in the surroundings were all bombarding this giant bell. Dang! 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 The giant bell suddenly gave off a burst of bell chimes, which then rolled up thousands of Dao charm auras. Countless weapons bombarding the giant bell were knocked away, but the giant bell hit a wine pot head-on. Kacha, the sound of the Tao runes exploding could be heard. This wine pot simply couldn't withstand the pressure of the giant bell, and it shattered into countless pieces. The ear-shaped fragment in his hand didn't belong to the giant bell, but to the ear of the broken wine pot. So powerful, Ning Qing felt shocked. This giant bell was too powerful. What kind of bell was it? No, this bell felt very familiar. Ning Qing quickly remembered that he had seen this bell before. When he reached Tao unification in the slaughter world, he had seen traces of the battle between the giant bell and the good fortune azure lotus. The giant bell he saw just now was definitely the copper bell that had collided with the good fortune azure lotus. Whether it was the traces of the battle or the Tao charm aura, it was exactly the same. At that time, he had thought about how great it would be if he could find this giant bell. Later, the remnant soul of the slaughter world took over his body, and he had forgotten about it after that. He didn't expect to see the image of this giant bell again today. At this time, he also understood why Xing Shi wanted the ear of his wine pot. Because although the wine pot was broken, the ear recorded traces of the battle's Tao charm aura from the giant bell. Not only did it record the battle scene and the Tao charm aura, but it also contained traces of spirit techniques. Ning Qing couldn't help but secretly admire Xing Shi's vision. It seemed that she could see through this pot's ear at a glance. She most likely wanted this pot's ear because she wanted the huge copper bell, which showed that Xing Shi definitely knew about the power of the bell. If it weren't for his good luck and being close to the fragment, Xing Shi would have taken it away a long time ago. Ning Qing tried to record all the auras inside the crystal ball. He tried several crystal balls in a row but couldn't record anything on it. Ning Qing felt helpless. He knew that he was too weak and couldn't control all the traces of the Tao charm aura on it. Xing Shi wanted this giant bell, and so did Ning Qing. He put away the pot's ear fragment, walked up to He Lanfeng, cupped his fists, and said, "Judge He, can I ask for another fragment?" He Lanfeng shook his head, "Tao friend Ning, although there are still some fragments, I can't give them to you. If you ask for two, it wouldn't be fair to the others." Ning Qing also knew that it was unlikely for him to get another fragment. Therefore, he came here to try his luck. Since there were no more fragments, he had to admit defeat. He couldn't bear to melt the pot's ear fragment. This was the only clue to the huge bell. If he still wanted the bell, he couldn't lose this clue. The things recorded in the ear-shaped fragment looked simple, but in fact, the Tao rune attacks inside were different in every detail. "What, you got a treasure?" Yi Mo walked over. Ning Qing nodded, "I got a good thing. There's a huge bell magic artifact inside. I suspect I've heard of that bell." "Let me see the fragment," Yi Mo said. Ning Qing didn't hesitate. Xing Shi was also suspicious. If he wanted to deal with Xing Shi, he would need to join forces with Yi Mo. In that case, he might as well show it to Yi Mo. In the distance, Xing Shi watched Ning Qing and Yi Mo talk, and her face grew worse. However, this kind of battle was only to determine the ranking. Whispering during the battle was allowed. If they came from the same realm, they could talk to each other. Yi Mo took the pot's ear fragment and scanned his spirit sense in. Soon, his face had a sliver of shock and amazement like Ning Qing. After a while, Yi Mo gave the magic artifact fragment to Ning Qing. Yi Mo said quietly, "I suspect this is the East Emperor Bell, but this is too absurd." East Emperor Bell? Ning Qing looked at Yi Mo in confusion. Did Tian Muan tell this legend to Yi Mo? He had thought about it too, but he also felt it was unbelievable. The East Emperor Bell was a true legend, but he wasn't in the legend. He was in the vast universe. But other than the East Emperor Bell, what magic artifact could stop the Fortune Green Lotus? "No need to doubt, I'm the same as you, I came from Earth." Yi Mo patted Ning Cheng's shoulder and sighed. "You came from Earth, this." Ning Qing didn't dare to believe it, but just like what Yi Mo said, this was too absurd. He believed Yi-Mo wouldn't lie to him. Was Yi-Mo also taken away by the fortune golden page? No wonder when she saw Yi-Mo today, she seemed to treat him differently. Yi-Mo said heavily, "We'll talk about this later. I heard Yi-Mo say that Earth is enveloped by an extremely precious time law world. This law world is far more precious than you and I can imagine." Ning Qing knew about the world of laws. He had heard San Wei talk about it in the past, about the various worlds of laws within the void. The larger time law worlds were the most precious. "Sect leader Yi, I've decided to quit the battle, you can forge first. We'll talk about other things after you finish." Ning Qing didn't know what Yi-Mo wanted to say, but now that he decided to quit, he couldn't waste Yi-Mo's time. Yi-Mo nodded and continued, "When I heard He Lanfeng's question, I felt something and saw the path to the third step. The second creation war is about to come. I'm going to go back and take away that law world on Earth. Then, I'm going to go to a place as fast as I can and reach the third step. This will probably take some time. I don't know exactly how long it will take. So after the battle, I'm going to leave." "Ha!" Ning Qing subconsciously glanced at Xing Shi. If Yi-Mo left, even with Xiao Xinshi and Ao Kan's help, he was far from a match for Xing Shi. Yi-Mo knew what Ning Qing meant. "Don't worry about Xing Shi, this woman might leave immediately after I leave because she knows that place too. Although she succeeded in creating a realm, today's question will make her realize that that place can also allow her to merge her realm." Yi-Mo stopped here. Xing Shi didn't even wait for the battle to finish and just tore open the void and took that Shu Chang away. She came and left quickly. Chapter 1352. Seeing Xing Shi leave, Yi-Mo's face changed and gave the magic artifact fragment to Ning Qing. "This woman doesn't have that law world, it's useless even if she goes first. But I can't waste time, this is for you. When I'm not here, remember to look after the Divine Tao sect for me." Then, Yi-Mo quickly said goodbye to the judges and left through the space formation door. Ning Qing knew very well that not only did this question enlighten him, but it also enlightened Yi-Mo and Xing Shi. He didn't know where the great Tao land they were fighting for was, but his power was too weak. He didn't have the right to go in yet. Looking at the magic artifact fragment in his hand, Ning Qing sighed. If it wasn't for the Gate of Fortune, he and Yi-Mo might be best friends. But as long as the Gate of Fortune opened, there would be a battle between them. Whether it was him or Yi-Mo, it would be hard for them to let go of cultivation. Casting these thoughts aside, Ning Qing's eyes fell on the magic artifact fragment. He felt something was wrong. The magic artifact fragment was clearly a piece of material. Although it wasn't completely purified, it had degenerated into a material. At this moment, Ning Qing realized what Yi-Mo meant. Yi-Mo knew he didn't have the magic artifact fragment to purify, so he gave it to him. With the restoration of the magic artifact fragment, as long as he worked harder, it would be no problem for him to get first. It was because of this that Yi-Mo told him to take care of the Divine Tao sect. Clearly, Yi-Mo didn't want to take advantage of him. Ning Qing didn't keep purifying the magic artifact fragment. He needed to learn these things. He had plenty of magic artifact fragments in his storage ring. "Judge He, this is the Divine Tao sect leader Yi-Mo's purified fragment. He left due to an urgent matter and asked me to hand it over." Ning Qing didn't want Yi-Mo's result. Even if he didn't participate in the next 2 rounds, he could get a realm domain from heaven beyond heaven with his result in the first round. "Okay, I'll remember it." He Lanfeng nodded and put away the fragments of materials that Ning Qing had given him. He already saw it when Yi-Mo gave it to Ning Qing. Of course, if Ning Qing didn't say Yi-Mo gave it to him, he wouldn't point it out. The time taken for the weapon duel was much longer than the pill duel. It took a full 3 days before the second round of the weapon duel ended. Below the stage, Ning Cheng looked at the contestants using 3 days to restore some materials and couldn't help but sigh at Yimo's power. Although Yimo's magic artifact fragment was far from being turned back into a material, it had a direction to go. Compared to the many participants who had only refined the remnant restriction Dao runes and refinement traces, it was much stronger. How much time had Yimo used to do that? And these contestants used a total of 3 days. He Lanfeng collected all the magic treasure fragments, and the 7 judges began to evaluate them. Because no one was able to completely restore the original material this time, there was a lot more time to judge. Another half a day passed. After Dao Lord Mountain Gazing and the others returned to the judges' seats, He Lanfeng carried the 3 jade plates and walked to the center of the competition platform. The spectators below the stage were all excited. Everyone knew that the result was out. He Lanfeng pointed at the 3 jade plates and said, "The results of the second round are out. Third is 3 Essence Realms Qi Chengshui Dao Friend, second is 9 Heavens Realms Yi Qianling Dao Friend and first is Divine Dao Realms Yimo Dao Friend." Unlike Fei Yin, who was hosting the competition, Lanfeng not only announced the top 3, but also the domains where the top 3 were located. The materials that the 3 people had restored were suspended above the battle stage. At this time, the restriction on the battle stage had been completely opened. Anyone could see the degree of restoration of the 3 fragments with their spiritual consciousness. Ning Cheng also saw the degree of restoration. Whether it was Qi Chengshui or Yi Qianling, they only managed to strip off the Dao Wave Qi and restore part of the material's properties. He was still far from being able to restore it. Yimo's magic artifact not only restored most of the material's properties but also gave people a path to follow. Following this path, one could restore the material's original form. Seeing this, Ning Cheng's heart moved. He finally understood the value of Yimo's magic artifact. Yimo gave him this magic artifact fragment not only to let him get a ranking but also to strip away his Dao meridian. According to this degree of restoration, as long as one was given time to comprehend, anyone could slowly touch a trace of the great Dao aura within. Ning Cheng also guessed why Yimo was so generous. Other than him and Yimo both coming from Earth, it was probably because he saved Yimo a few times and was using this to express his gratitude. He didn't say this gratitude out loud, but it was even more beautiful. At this moment, Qi Chengshui and Yi Qianling were already on the stage. Ning Cheng didn't hesitate and quickly landed on the stage. Yimo's magic artifact couldn't fall into other people's hands. At the same time, he wouldn't try to learn the Dao marks Yimo left in the material. Since he was going to fight at the Gate of Fortune, he would rely on his own power. Touching someone else's Dao Qi and then using such means to fight was indeed more likely to win. But Ning Cheng didn't want to do this. If Yimo was his mortal enemy, he wouldn't mind using such means. Yimo clearly wasn't. Doing this would betray his Dao heart. "Dao friend Ning, can you sell this material to me?" He Lanfeng suddenly asked. Ning Cheng shook his head, and spoke with a smile, "I cannot hand over this material, I'm really sorry." Handing it over was the same as revealing Yimo's Dao. It wouldn't affect Yimo much, but it would lower the value of this material. An item of this level was too worthless to be casually handed over. Ning Cheng planned to give it to Yimo's daughter. The reason he didn't say it was to make people think he had the material. Ning Cheng believed that Yimo already knew he wouldn't give it to someone else. He had only teamed up with Yimo a few times and they both knew what sort of person each other was. He Lanfeng seemed to know his request was too much and smiled awkwardly to Ning Cheng before saying, "The second round is over. Now it's the third round, Rune Battle. The Rune Battle will be hosted by Harmless Realm Dao friend Shenmo." Shenmo landed on the stage. This was a very scholarly-looking man. Despite only being Spirit Realm primary stage, Ning Cheng felt the power of the void from him. This is a top-notch powerhouse, Ning Cheng thought to himself. Although Helanfeng's state was a level higher than Shenemo, he might not be a match for Shenemo. Ning Qing knew that Yi Mo had signed up for pill battle, forgery battle and rune battle. Now that Yi Mo wasn't here, he gave up on the rune battle. Shenemo saluted with his fists. Dao friends, I'm Shenemo from Harmless Realm. There are 671 contestants this time. I'll be the host. The rules of the competition were also very simple. Everyone had to prepare their own materials, and whoever refined the talisman with the highest grade and value would be the winner. Now, I announce the start of the rune battle. Contestants, please go on stage and make your own rune. The time limit is 4 hours. The rules were simple indeed. It was like comparing who was more talented. Take out your bank card and whoever has more money in the card is more talented. This kind of rune battle depended on materials the most. It could be said that as long as one had precious materials, with the rules of the competition, even if one was slightly weaker, it was still possible to win. This had nothing to do with Ning Qing. He didn't participate in the rune battle at all. Ning Qing didn't study runes much. After entering the cosmos, his main focus was on formation Dao, forgery Dao and pill Dao. He felt that the most complicated and mysterious was formation Dao. Seeing the hundreds of people on the stage, he felt that rune Dao wasn't any weaker than formation Dao. Those talisman refinement masters were able to draw out mysterious Dao runes with just a lift of their hands, and this was similar to when he was refining and carving array foundations. Ning Cheng's eyes soon fell on one of them. It wasn't that this person was better at rune forging than others, but he knew this person. It was Nianyan, who had disappeared for a long time. He didn't expect Nianyan to appear here. Ning Cheng had seen Nianyan's pill Dao and formation Dao. Back in Great Change Realm, Nianyan's formation Dao was probably a little stronger than his. He didn't expect Nianyan to be a rune master. Since Nianyan was here, he wondered if Sun Hanrui was well. Since Nianyan was here, why didn't she look for him? If Nianyan wasn't refining talismans, Ning Cheng would have gone over to ask. Boom boom boom. An hour passed quickly. Just as Ning Cheng was guessing that Nianyan was refining the talisman in her hand, he heard bursts of Dao runes roaring in the void. Not only Ning Cheng, but almost all the people on the heavens beyond square also looked at the void. Immediately, everyone's eyes focused on a talisman suspended in the void above the battle stage. This talisman was gray but filled with powerful Dao rune law aura. Ning Cheng sucked in a breath of cold air. In just an hour, one could refine a talisman that could trigger the roar of heaven and earth's Dao runes. How powerful was the person who refined this talisman? How powerful was this talisman? Ning Cheng's eyes moved away from the talisman suspended in the air and shifted to the person who refined this talisman. This was a man who looked extremely young. Judging from his appearance, he was even younger than Yi Zichen. The young man frowned and looked at the talisman above his head that triggered the roar of the void's Dao runes. He seemed to be very dissatisfied. Chapter 1353. Before the rumbling Dao charm in the void completely disappeared, the young man raised his hand and grabbed the talisman suspended in the void. The young man grabbed the talisman, and the void returned to its original appearance. Although Ning Cheng didn't know what kind of talisman this was, he knew that this young man definitely took first place in this talisman battle. Not only Ning Cheng knew about it, but all the talisman grandmasters participating in the talisman battle also knew about it. In such a short time, no one could refine this kind of talisman that could trigger the rumbling Dao charm of heaven and earth. Ning Cheng's gaze once again fell on Nianyan. Nianyan had also finished refining the talisman. As if knowing that Ning Cheng was looking at her, Nianyan's gaze swept down from the stage and fell on Ning Cheng. She smiled at Ning Cheng, nodded, and then retracted her gaze. Ning Cheng also smiled and nodded at Nianyan. He understood Nianyan's meaning. She wanted him to rest assured. 2 hours passed by quickly. Apart from the talisman refined by the young man that caused the rumbling Tao charm of heaven and earth, no one else could refine this kind of talisman that caused the rumbling Tao charm of heaven and earth. Dang, the bell rang, and Shen Mo flew down to the battle stage and spoke in a calm tone, the time for the talisman battle has arrived. Tao friends, please stop what you are doing and come down from the battle stage. Although Shen Mo's tone was calm, it carried a kind of surging aura. The few talisman masters who didn't stop for the first time shook their talismans and immediately turned into flying ash. It wasn't until this moment that everyone realized how straightforward this Shen Mo, who spoke in a calm and gentle manner, was. No one dared to stand up and express their disagreement. Ning Qing knew very well that although there were many people participating in the talisman battle, in fact, no one could really compare to Shen Mo in terms of cultivation. Thinking about his cultivation, Ning Qing suddenly realized that he had overlooked something. That's right, it was the young talisman grandmaster who refined the talisman that caused the rumbling Tao charm of heaven and earth. Just now, he didn't pay any attention to the other party's cultivation at all. All his attention was focused on the talisman that the other party refined. Ning Qing quickly turned his gaze to the young man, only to find that the young man's cultivation seemed to change according to his thoughts. It was just like when he felt that this man's cultivation should not exceed the creation realm, the young man's cultivation seemed to be exactly the same as his. When he sensed that the man's cultivation should have surpassed the creation realm, the man's cultivation seemed to have immediately surpassed the creation realm. Ning Qing took in a deep breath. He knew that this was not because the other party's cultivation had truly changed, but because the other party had used a top-notch method to conceal their cultivation. This method of concealing one's cultivation was very likely to be the use of talismans. If it was really like this, then this fellow's strength would probably not be any weaker than his talisman Tao. Junior apprentice brother Ning, it's been a long time since we last met. Your progress is even greater than what I had imagined. From now on, I will have to call you senior apprentice brother, not junior apprentice brother. Ning Qing was still secretly shocked by the means of that young man, when Nyan's voice interrupted his contemplation. Nyan felt very emotional. The last time she saw Ning Qing, he was still a first-step cultivator who had not even reached Tao transformation. How many years had it been? She was only at the mid-stage primordial chaos realm, but Ning Qing's realm was higher than hers. She had been able to reach the mid-stage primordial chaos because she had long been able to attain the Tao validation primordial chaos. However, she had never taken this step. This was the result of the accumulation of time. Sure enough, the person with the good fortune treasure was the master of this universe. Ning Qing returned to his senses and quickly asked, Senior apprentice sister Nyan has also made great progress. I'm just lucky. Nyan knew that Ning Qing was talking about luck because of the good fortune mysterious yellow bead. However, she still smiled and said, I've experienced many things in the void trial test over the years. I also know a little about the good fortune war. Maybe I will have to rely on you when that day comes. Ning Qing also guessed that Nyan must have experienced many things over the years. Otherwise, she would not have come to heavens beyond of heaven and earth to participate in the talisman battle competition. Senior apprentice sister Nyan, let's talk about this later. I wonder how junior apprentice sister Hanrui is now. Ning Qing had brought Sun Hanrui here. If he could not save her, he would definitely feel guilty. Nyan smiled slightly. Big brother Ning, you can call me Nyan in the future. Hanrui is fine. She is now cultivating in the Great Change realm. When I came out, she had just entered the Celestial Scryer realm. Hanrui returned to the Great Change realm? Ning Qing asked in surprise. Nyan nodded and replied, yes. After Hanrui woke up, she felt very scared because everything around her was strange. She felt very grateful when she knew that you had brought her out of the graceful star mainland. Although she did not say it, I knew that she had always wanted to return to the people she was familiar with. But later, when she came to the Great Change Realm, she gradually got used to it. Because the Great Change Realm's heaven and earth laws are very suitable for cultivation, she made rapid progress and decided to stay in the Great Change Realm to cultivate. I guess that after knowing about the Good Fortune War, she felt a little stimulated and wanted to improve her cultivation as soon as possible. Then, she wanted to participate in it. Or, she wanted to help you. Ning Qing felt relieved. Although he knew that if he wanted to appear in the Good Fortune War, he could not just casually improve his cultivation. As long as Sun Hanrui had the motivation to cultivate, it would be good. As a starry sky cultivator, strength was the only criterion for survival. Nianyan, why did you come here to participate in the mysterious Yellow Heavens Beyond Realm Division competition? Ning Qing was in a good mood. Nianyan sighed. I've been looking for a way to reach the third step of Dao validation until I went to Jiaoliang Mountain one day. On Mount Jiaoliang, I obtained some fortuitous encounters and learned some things. I also knew that my guess about the third step was not wrong. At that time, I knew that if I wanted to go further, I had to participate in the Good Fortune War. After knowing that you were also in the mysterious Yellow Heavens Beyond, I planned to stay there for a long time. Ning Qing smiled. It's easy for you to live in the mysterious Yellow Heavens Beyond. Although I only have one round of points, I'm sure that I can occupy a territory in the mysterious Yellow Heavens Beyond. After Ning Qing finished speaking, Nianyan said, I hope to win my place of survival by relying on my own strength. The reason I chose to fight talismans was because I knew that I would have a chance to get into the top 3. I didn't expect to meet such a powerful talisman grandmaster here. If I'm not wrong, this person is probably him. As Nianyan spoke, she looked at the young man who had refined the Dao Charm Roaring Sound Talisman. Do you know him? Ning Qing looked at Nianyan in confusion. At the same time, he also understood what Nianyan meant. She was not related to him. Even if she wanted to stay in the mysterious Yellow Heavens Beyond, she would have to rely on her own strength. Nianyan nodded. I'm just guessing. I obtained part of Fu Lai's talisman refining inheritance on Jiaoliang Mountain. Besides Fu Lai, I also know that there was an extremely powerful talisman Dao expert called Gu Baoshan. Because Fu Lai's talisman Dao was too powerful, everyone remembered him as the #1 talisman Dao expert, Fu Lai. Naturally, not many people knew who the second person was. In the end, even if the talismans refined by Gu Baoshan leaked out, people said that Fu Lai had refined them. Gu Baoshan was furious and no longer refined talismans for others or participated in various talisman Dao competitions. This might be the tragedy of the second person, but I can see from the inheritance left by Fu Lai that this person called Gu Baoshan's talisman Dao is not worse than his. I suspect that the person who refined the Dao Charm Roaring Sound Talisman is Gu Baoshan. Do you know what his cultivation realm is? Just as Ning Qing asked this question, Shen Imo stood on the stage and said, the results of the third round of the talisman battle competition are out. The third place goes to Tian Iha from Shuyi Realm, while the second place goes to Guanyuan Palace's Nianyan. At this point, Shen Imo subconsciously paused for a moment. In fact, it wasn't that there weren't any sects that participated in the competition, but they were all from some top-notch and powerful sections. He had never heard of this Guanyuan Palace. Ning Qing had heard Nianyan mention her origin, Guanyuan Palace. He also knew Tian Iha, but he didn't expect that this creation realm expert from Shuyi Realm was also a talisman Dao Grandmaster. The third place goes to Heavenly Talisman Stars Dao Lord Burning Talisman. Even Shen Imo felt that this name was a bit strange. A talisman Dao Grandmaster who refined talismans named himself Dao Lord Burning Talisman. Nianyan whispered in Ning Cheng's ear, I'm even more certain that this person is Gu Baoshan. He is very unhappy with Fu Lai. He thinks that Fu Lai doesn't live up to his name, and that the strongest talisman Dao expert should be him, Gu Baoshan. However, the truth is that Gu Baoshan doesn't have any color under Fu Lai's radiance. He named himself Burning Talisman. This talisman isn't an ordinary talisman, but Fu Lai's talisman. This person is a peerless expert. I really don't know how he survived the first creation war. Hearing Nianyan's words, Ning Cheng looked at Dao Lord Burning Talisman in the distance and said softly. Nianyan also said in agreement, yes, I know from the things that Fu Lai left behind that the first creation war was extremely tragic. Even a peerless expert like Fu Lai couldn't escape. This Gu Baoshan seems to be very strong. Could it be that he has a way to avoid participating in the first creation war? Nianyan's words came to an abrupt end when she saw Dao Lord Burning Talisman walking towards her and Ning Cheng. Burning Talisman stopped in front of Ning Cheng and Nianyan, then looked at the two of them from head to toe. Then, he looked at Nianyan and said, if I'm not wrong, you should have inherited your talisman refining technique from the unworthy Fu Lai, right? Nianyan said in a neither haughty nor humble manner, it's my own business who I inherited it from. Senior Fu Lai was able to traverse the universe for countless years and leave behind an illustrious name for himself. There's naturally a reason for that. Living in this vast universe, under the impact of the rolling years, only those huge stones can leave traces. Some small gravel will eventually be drowned by the waves of time. In any case, Nianyan's inheritance came from Fu Lai, so she naturally wouldn't say anything bad about Fu Lai. Burning Talisman snorted coldly, and a powerful aura suddenly rose, pressing down on Nianyan and Ning Cheng. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.